Yeah, I don't know, man. I will say what is really nice about the shaved head is that I still will like dry my hair the way I normally would, because now it's not getting caught on my bald head.
Right.
But like I don't need to.
Yeah.
The hair is so short that like quite literally by the time like I'm like done doing whatever else I need to do in the bathroom before I like get dressed, it's dry. Or if it's wet, what difference does it make?
Right.
And so, but it's like you still gotta.
Yeah.
Which I then realized, not then, on a side note in the same vein, when I was at the office recently, because to prep for my sister going to Oklahoma, I've been going in prep a dodge, prep a pig. I was at the office and my coworker Patrick was like, "Hey," or I guess he's my boss now because paper restructure. But he was like, "Yeah," he goes, mentioned something about like shampoo. He goes, "Do you know that you're actually supposed to like spray the shampoo in your hand and like it needs to get activated first before you like put it in your hair? You're not supposed to just put it straight on your hair." And I realized, not then, but today, this morning, when I was in the shower, like a week and a half later, that, wait, people will just, do they just take the shampoo and just squirt it onto their hair, like onto their head?
Well, no, but like, I mean, some people probably do, but I'd imagine he was referring to people will like squirt it into their hand and then just immediately put it in their hair.
Yeah, which I guess that makes sense.
That's what I do.
I'd like do that. I know I like do a little bit and then I do that. That's kind of like what then I panicked when I was in the shower today. I'm like, how do I normally do this? Because now you become self-aware.
Yeah. I mean, like I put it in my hand and then just put it in my hair because like I figure my hair will do the activating for me. Because then like I sit there like rubbing it long enough that doing it for a second in my hands wouldn't make a difference if I then just do it for 30 seconds in my hair.
I see, and I feel the same in that regard. Yeah. But like, for a brief moment, like I didn't consider like, did he like, because I do that, I will sometimes, it's like it's this so that there's some on both hands, but it's not like to make sure it's all activated. It's just, yep, some on both hands, and then you just like go nuts on it, go sicko mode. And I'm like, is this what you're doing?
I'm sure there are people out there who just like,
that's crazy.
Squeeze it.
That's
straight
nuts.
on top.
Are you a squeezer on top of
those people?
Are you a top squeeze?
Sound off in the comments below.
What's your head game here? You know, that's what I want to know.
What happened in your life that led you to a place where like you squirt shampoo directly onto your head?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why conversation led to it, but it's interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
So, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Somebody at work got fired.
Oh,
I'll tell you about it afterwards.
Oh, who? Is it someone I know?
Noah. I mean, it's one of Taylor's coworkers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is it a big guy?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a guy? Is it probably exactly who I think it is?
Probably exactly who you think it is.
Because I don't think it's who she works with.
It was an attitude problem, we'll put it that way.
Oh.
Not a performance issue. Do you want me to pause and tell you right now?
Yeah, I do actually. Now I can't. I can't wait.
Please. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for that information. Yeah. I was wrong. Just for all the viewers at home.
But not surprised.
That's just it. I was not surprised, but it wasn't who my first thought was.
Which is fair.
Only because like, you're right. He's always been a pain in the ass. Like when Cool Town would have to deal with him.
Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P. Cool Town. I hope he's sleeping easy in his home and in that bustling up and coming city.
For which he is a tour guide.
He is. I do love him though. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
I say as he's our age. He's our age. I've been saying for years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, funny story about Cool Town.
Mm-hmm.
One time, him and I went to, after work, we went to Mill Avenue. We went to.
Did you go play pool?
Yeah, we played pool. I'm just trying to remember what the pool hall was called.
I can't remember. I was supposed to go and something happened and I wasn't able to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's on Mill Avenue, and I can say that because it's the ASU like bar strip. Like, I don't care about doxing a location in a party city.
Yeah.
But like Q Club, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's about me because I worked. Remember when I worked at that bar restaurant?
We weren't friends at that point, but I remember the stories post having.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where I was told I was part of the A team for bussers of the bar, of just people that work and help close it down, and then they never paid me.
Well, that's one of the things of being on the A team.
Yeah, it turns out is that you just don't get paid.
No money.
And then this cute girl that I worked with, like, ended up like that I knew found like she knew that I used to work there, and like it had gone over to a new ownership, and it was a video game bar at this point. And she's like, "Do you know the code to the safe?" And I'm like, "No." Apparently there was a safe there, and I'm like, "Oh, interesting." Anyway, we went to Q Club and we were playing, and I had a few AMFs. It was a wonderful, delightful time. And it was then that I realized that when I tried to Snapchat Taylor, for whatever reason, in my phone for Taylor, the name in Snapchat was Kat's name, like first and last name.
Oh.
Yeah, it was super weird.
That's very odd.
And I never got an explanation for it. Because then I had like two, because Cat is motherfucking Cat in all caps. But like Taylor's wasn't. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is it Cat's name? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any goddamn fucking sense.
So, did I talk about Adventure Quest on here?
You did a week or two ago, yeah. How it's back.
Yeah, so I don't think
and it was sick
I
as
still
fuck.
haven't played it, but
same.
So I don't think I mentioned the part where when I like went to recover my account, they were like, "Give us your email and we'll, find your account name." They sent me an email, and the email wasn't just my account; it was, "Here's your list of accounts." And I was like, "List of accounts?
Oh, you can have alts on the same email?
I've only ever had one. Many alt RuneScape accounts, BioFish, Bio,
Are we going to do a group Iron Man?
Absolutely not. That's not fun.
No, but it'd just be fun to have a reason to play RuneScape again, because it's tough to like
to work on a character that you already have.
Because like what's left is like it takes like a little bit of like brain, or it's like I'm gonna go cut.
Iron Man doesn't take brain.
No, but starting fresh. Like I want to play Iron Man for a little bit, if that makes sense. Like, because I think like the novelty of it's really fun. And like, but the problem is that 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago, when I was really into old school RuneScape, is when I should have started that account. Yeah. And it would be a lot better now. Yeah. Because the account that I did start, I stopped playing. Yeah. But I did get 92 construction, or I think I got 87 construction, or I got whatever it was, so that if you eat a soup and you get the high roll, you could like do the last thing you needed. Yeah.
So they sent me a list of my accounts, and the top one was the one that was mine, that I recognized, and that had been created in 2005. And then
great year. I have no idea.
Was it? I don't remember 2005.
I think we would have been in 7th grade.
In 2005?
Yeah, because we like at the second half, like end of 6th grade, beginning of 7th. Because we started freshman year 2007. So we would have started 7th grade in 2005.
Yeah, which makes sense because I had last signed in 2005. I created it in 2003 because I was in 5th grade when Brandon.
Now that makes more sense. Also, it is kind of weird to think what year were you in, what grade? Because like I've only ever had to deal with it when like talking to people, anyone a little bit older than me, about where were you on 9/11? Yeah, because that's the only thing that we have in common that with most people that are around our age. No offense, and older. Sorry, Gen Z. You got to fidget spin into the Patriot Act or something. I don't know. God. We got to do it. We got to enjoy it without having a say or vote. Well, I guess that's worse for them. They were just born.
I mean, they also didn't have a say.
Well, they shouldn't.
They weren't alive yet, so it makes sense that they didn't have a say.
You're right.
Because they didn't exist yet.
Should people who are yet to be alive have a say?
Well, in that case, I think the people that are dead should also get a say, maybe.
Oh, you got to be careful there.
Actually, I don't want
dead people aren't supposed to vote.
I don't think anyone dead should have a say, because I think progress has been good, and so I don't think anyone behind should get a vote.
You're right.
Well, I mean, there have been good people in the past, but...
And it is important to vote, and remember that. And if you are 18 in the United States of America, you are legally eligible to vote, and make sure that you do register and do take time. And my personal recommendation on the end of my soapbox here is once it starts getting close to voting time, which is about every 2 years in November because there's midterms, is take a look at all of the candidates. And if you're able to do mail-in ballot, just decide that you're going to take 2 hours to like Google each name and just see where they are at. And that's the only thing I'll give you. I won't tell you how to vote, but like it is important
also
to take
vote
a
for
look.
more things than just the president. Like local elections actually matter a lot.
If you want to see change in your community, like I'll be blunt here. I fucking hate Arizona and Phoenix in a lot of ways because I think that there's a lot of like local bullshit that like why doesn't anything like get done? But then things do get done. But then the things it seems like they care about are weird and funky. Also, you know, people start proposing bills. It's always worth taking a look at them because people sandwich shit in there.
Not every state does that though.
Yeah, well, like the ban TikTok bill, apparently.
In Arizona?
Oh, sorry, that's not Arizona. That's more national.
Oh,
but there's a ban.
Because I thought, having been like, you know, basically been in Arizona my whole life, I thought every state did like propositions and bills and stuff that we could all vote on, but a lot of states don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That reminds me of when Zach
and in those states, it's even more important to vote in local elections because they're the ones who then get to vote on that. You don't get a say in it.
Yeah, so. Like, you know, your representatives and whatnot. And like, even if you feel like you're in a state where it is the opposite color of yours, it is still worth voting. And like, just because like they're based on the number of people that vote, even if it doesn't win, it helps with like funding and stuff. So like, even if you vote third party or whatever, I mean, grow up and pick a team.
Pick a side.
You're right.
There's only two.
Well,
the right side and the wrong side. Am I right?
No, you're not. Like,
now I'm absolutely wrong.
Yeah, I would argue that you're pretty.
I am pretty. Thank you.
You're pretty west of that coordinate, to be honest. Which is funny. Whenever I personally think about like, you know, left leaning or right leaning, like left leaning's over here, right leaning's over here, like a stage left. I don't know why. Like in my head, if I were to picture it, I'm like right, left, and you figure out where you're at.
Okay.
I don't know why.
When it comes to politics, I don't think in the direction at all. Like, and when it comes to like a political left and a political right, it's such an arbitrary term that for me it doesn't even like read as a direction. Whereas like if someone was to say left, I think left. Like, this is my left hand side. But then like politics has become such a like.
It's only in politics that I think like this too. Is like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like a left leaning or right leaning. I'm like, yeah, I'm more on the left.
Right.
Because I guess I'm telling them look to your left, the royal left.
So in the email from Adventure Quest.
Yes. Sorry about the political
brand. It listed that, like, you know, in 2003, my account had been made. And then it also listed that in 2013, an account for Taylor _ her last name had also been made, registered to that email address. And I was like, what?
What fucking meme were you on?
And I'm also sitting there at Brandon and Taylor's. Taylor is sitting next to me. I pop up in the email. She goes, why is my name in that? And I was like, I don't remember. And then through
Taylor 69.
Through like group memory, me, Brandon, and Taylor managed to put together that like in one of our marketing classes, we were sitting there bored, and so like as a joke, we made Taylor
an Adventure Quest
account.
Probably because someone remembered it.
Yeah, because we like couldn't get into ours because they like, you know, for whatever reason. So then we made Taylor one with my old email address because I didn't want stuff being sent to my actual email address.
Weird.
So it was a wild time. But yeah.
Now I really kind of want to play RuneScape today, to be honest, because I'm pretty sure I still pay for premium.
I know I do.
And like,
but I sign in every couple months and like bit bop, so
I have some time. And I guess it is on mobile too.
I hate it on mobile, but yeah.
I gotta actually. I found out I need to a thing I never knew I needed to do because I wanted to play RuneScape when I was on my stream somewhat recently, and I realized I need to use my authenticator app, and like. This authenticator is not the same as the one on my iPhone, which is where it was set up. And so apparently, though, if you have two phones, you can just sync the authenticator. So like I was like, oh, I got to charge the phone and do that. And then I forgot. So, but like now that I'm thinking about it and we brought it up, I'm like, ooh, that'd be fun because we're going to do the hello. And then I have a fun story to tell you about my internet.
Hello.
Hello.
And welcome
to the
Hell Yeah podcast.
Brought to you by... Do we have any sponsors or anything?
My penis.
And my penis. And we're co-writers of our journal, How to Live with a Huge Penis. You may not have the most rockin' bod, but you can always have the most rockin' rod.
Would you like to grow 2.5 to 6.5 inches over the course of 3 months? Could I interest you in a series of
gas station pills repackages?
Small surgeries.
A series of surgeries.
Yeah, it's conducted over the course of 3 months. All outpatient. Could be covered by your insurance.
I went to one of those and they just put like a slinky in there.
Right.
Which, it turns out that I don't produce enough blood to make it hard because it just keeps going.
Right.
But it's limp.
Well, with mine, what they did was,
which I would argue was worse.
They took out a Bic pen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they unscrewed the top and they popped out that little spring.
Mm-hmm.
Then they just stuck it right up in there.
And that's how you get sprung.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Didn't help, but hurt a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
I love that. Did you learn
rusting
anything
in there?
Oh, God. Did they even desanitize it?
Absolutely not.
No, I wouldn't vote for
They
him.
spat on it. That was the lube.
I'm laughing at your joke and my own joke at the same time. I was thinking about Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSanitize. Oh, I said I wasn't going to get mad. And proceed to... I have a web to weave of you.
Okay, yeah.
You and I are friends sometimes, allegedly.
Yeah. We've bound ourselves together in a way.
I have had issues with my internet lately.
Okay, yeah. I've heard of them in an oblique way.
I have
gaming.
I have had theories.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see the movie Apocalypse Now?
No.
Well, it's like that. Or wait, is Apocalypse Now the one that's a documentary about the movie, or
no? Apocalypse Now is a movie.
Is the movie? What was the movie that was a movie about making the movie? I gotta look it up. It's from they mentioned it in Community when Luis Guzman was there. Okay. Apocalypse Now. Didn't they? Let me go to Wiki. I like your monitor.
Thanks.
Didn't they make another movie? They made a movie about the movie. Oh yeah, Hearts of Darkness. So they this was a movie, a documentary about Francis Ford Coppola making Apocalypse Now, and there's some good bits in Community about it. Okay. Anyway, my experiences were very similar to this, of just a Pyrrhic victory. I won, but at what cost?
Right.
I wrote Router Saga and then getting stereotyped at the store. So, or /JK, because I think I wanted to be clear that I didn't genuinely feel like I was stereotyped, but it was shorthand for the memory.
Okay, yeah.
As typecast would be a much more apt thing. So,
okay, yeah.
My internet, I have had this theory that
a game
theory.
Thanks for watching.
I pay for the Gigablast, so the best Cox internet, Cox Communications out here. Aside from, there's days where I'm able to play and have zero problems, and then there's times where I can't do anything. And it's internet speeds are perfectly fine, everything seems good, but if I try to play specifically multiplayer, so Destiny, for example, if I'm trying to play with other people, it will I'll get weaseled over and over and over. And I'm like, well, maybe it's a problem with the server. Mm-hmm. But then even Ori and I were trying to play Castle Crashers recently, and it was brutal. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I've had this feeling that the ring router Eero mesh thing that from the way that my sister had set it up based on what she was reading was that she needed to make it the router. It needed to do this. It turns out we did not need to do that. And I would have preferred if we didn't do that, because personally, I like my router. I have my little Nighthawk, and I had bought a decent router for it specifically. Mm-hmm. So I've been like posing this idea of like, I feel like the router's the issue. Like it's gotta be. I'm like, there are also issues in the area because like I see the trucks out, which is not very helpful because it's like, I don't feel like my service interruptions like are necessarily the same as what the area wide ones are. Like I feel like I have two issues at the same time. I went back and I called them. Like I tried to call them once. When I got fed up. I think this is like I guess last weekend, I believe. I got fed up and I was like, I'm gonna fucking call them and just deal with this. And so I called them, which actually before that I had decided to, on the app there was no phone number. There is no way to find a phone number to call them unless you Google it specifically. So I used the text chat to try to like help, and he did his best, but there was not much he could do, and it was pointless. Yeah. And I was like, I should have just fucking called. So on Sunday, a couple weeks ago when I was playing with Steph, and it kept disconnecting, and it's just like, I would like to do things, and I just can't. I'll call them. And so I call, and I listen to all their messages. I don't know if I already talked about this on the podcast, but context for the whole saga. I call them, and I go through all the automated messages, and I go, you know what? I'm going to game the system. Press 0. Pro tip, most of the time you start hearing all those options, you press 0, you'll get to somebody. Even if they don't say it's an option. I press 0 after listening to everything to be like, if you want to talk to like an operator, go ahead. I press that and it goes, we know that you'd like to talk to somebody, but like, our offices are closed, anytime after like 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And I'm just like, you're open for 8 hours Monday through Friday. Otherwise, all they do is push you to like the tech support, the app and stuff. Yeah. And so they're like, I'm like, I had hit 0, and they're like, we understand that you would like to talk to somebody, but like in order to better help your call, please choose one of the following options to help us route your call. And then they repeat all the same options, but they don't repeat the 0 option. Mm-hmm. And if you press the 0 option, it just like redoes all the numbers. And I'm like, you fucking assholes. And I was so fucking mad that like I was like, fine. And it was like, okay, router. And it's like, if you'd like for us to reset your modem, I was like, fuck it. That'll be something that I could do. It did nothing. Anyway, keeps happening, hit and miss. And I'm getting like frustrated. I'm getting angry. I'm trying not to get mad. Also realized that I need to probably just kind of do a little bit of work on like moving stuff off of my PC and onto that hard drive, because like I keep running out of room. So I'm like, stuff is still somehow coming over there, and it's kind of annoying because like it's like, hey, you only have like a gigabyte left. I'm like, everything should be on the hard drive. Why is this even a problem? And I'm like, because I keep saving images and stuff. So I'm like working on slowly like cleaning all of that out. Maybe while I play RuneScape today.
It could be beef.
It could be beef. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, it's got to be something to do with this fucking router. I'm like, I don't know what it is. Like, something's wrong with it. And you'd think that like, well, you could just unplug it to like reset it. But the problem is that the router thing is plugged in and it charges, so it has a battery. And so I'm still dealing with all these issues. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. Don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. You understand.
I understand.
They don't understand.
Some people don't.
Which, you know what? Ori said that to me like a week and a half ago, and it was the funniest goddamn thing because I never thought about it. I'm like, a new twist on an old favorite, and they don't understand.
It's true,
and I think it's a good evolution, and I want to be clear that I'm giving her credit here because I think it's important to highlight it. Mm-hmm. Anywho, I decide on Saturday, yesterday, because today is Sunday, and it doesn't feel like that because I've had a very good week. And I didn't notice a lot of these internet issues because I took a break from streaming for a week for mental health, which was pretty good. I went to therapy. It was a good time. Saw movies. I talked about it last week. And then continued to get angry throughout the week in the anger stage of things. So that was fun. Fucking mad about this goddamn internet. I'm like, what the fuck is it? I'm like, you know what? Like, I was trying to play with a friend to play Destiny, helping her with Witch Queen. And I'm like, I can't fucking do this. Like, we're literally like, we can't be in a call on Discord, or I have to be on my phone in a call. So we're just not going to be in a call because that's too much going on. And I could not figure out how to Google this problem accurately. I'm like, because of what I also had tried to do before was unplug the Ring router from everything, like turn it off, whatever, and then plug in my old Netgear to try to like set it up again. Mm-hmm. Well, problem is that because that battery charges, it's like, well, hey, just in case, we have it like the charged battery backup. I'm like, it's still causing me issues. It can't even register that there's a new router. And I didn't think about like you have to go into the router settings and everything. So I learned a lot of this through troubleshooting, but fueling the conspiracy that like I cannot escape the Ring router. Even if I wanted to, it's there. And I'm like, that can't be the problem.
Right.
Also, all of my cables were still like all of the modem and stuff was behind my sister's bed, and there was no room to be moving things like that. And I finally had the smart idea after, like at the end of this frustrated day before, to just snake all the cords through the wall since there was already a hole, and just have everything in like the living room part, because now I don't have to move her. And I literally looked at it, I'm like, why did I never fucking do this? You know, it made sense at the time, like when I moved in, because I didn't think about it, and she didn't like, you know, have her bed like that. So it made sense. But, you know, functionally to get back there, I'm like, there's not a lot of room. I am a chunky guy, and she's not like tiny anymore because she's pregnant with baby, who has been kicking and is doing very good. I'm very happy. All of this to say, I realized on Saturday, I'm like, this is it. I'm done. I'm like, it has to be this fucking router. I'm like, Cecilia, we're going to reset it. And then I like tried to set up the new router. And the big thing that they said is like, if you want to not have to reconnect all your devices, just leave the name and password the same as it was before, like from the old one. So I did that, and nothing was working. Nothing was connected. And I'm like, it's the Ring, because it's still technically on. So it's still trying to act like it's the network. So I looked at my sister and I said, I can't do this. I'm like, I'm going to unplug the modem and the routers. I had the new one, and I didn't have it fully set up correctly, but I was trying to. And I realized, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. I picked up the router, the Ring, and I went and I walked around the block while the other thing had reset, hoping that maybe it would work. And then when I got back to my house, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw it in the trunk of my car, and hopefully that'll be enough. No, it wasn't. So then I'm losing my goddamn fucking mind. I'm figuring out, like, you got to go into like the router, the 192.168.1.1, you know, router settings and stuff, and figuring out how to set it up. And I keep walking back and forth, plugging and unplugging, when I realized I could have just kept unplugging my Ethernet from my computer and not have to get up. Learning as I go.
I hate network shit.
Yeah, I almost called Brandon, because I'm like, Brandon knows more than I do, because I remember when he was at old apartment, he got like real into it, or maybe it was at their house, like he was like all into the networking stuff, but couldn't figure it out. I go through all this. I end up having to put the Ring in my car and go drive it 3 blocks over and park it in the neighborhood there and longboard back. Left it there overnight, so the next morning I had a dude, where's my car moment. Because that was Friday. Friday I did that, I think. Wait, maybe it was Saturday. I had to go get my car though.
Did you get your car this morning?
Maybe. No, I didn't. Okay. I would have got my car yesterday.
So then it was Friday.
Yeah, it was Friday that I moved the Ring, trying to get it fixed and everything. I don't remember. Now time is an illusion because I had too good of a weekend. This is a very long, drawn out thing. I'm sorry. But like, I finally got it to fucking work. I had to change it from Netgear to Steve Gear. Of course. Because I figured that worked. But then I noticed one other problem. I still had my issue after all the resetting. And when I was hardwired in on my computer, the internet, when it's hardwired, says that it's on Netgear. And I'm like, why? That seems weird if the name of it was changed to Steve Gear, because then I can connect to the Wi-Fi. So I had like unplugged and connected to the Wi-Fi, and I like had a lot less of issues. Because I guess with the Eero Mesh, the smart pass solution was like we deleted it or turned it off. That like basically it already has security settings, but then there's like these extra ones. So it's almost like ricochet bullets on a Hydra in Destiny, where it's like boo, 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 boo. Like it's trying, the data's coming in and it's getting like soft locked in its own thing. Yeah, like it keeps bouncing and because it's restricting itself. And then that's why I'm just getting error coded out of things, and it's really frustrating. I do not know the technical words, but the only thing I can do is express in feeling and like what I see. But I recognize that I don't know things. But ultimately everything worked until Friday. Again, my timeline is all over the place. I did more shit. I got all the internet set up, I believe, on Thursday or Friday. I think I did that all ultimately. No, it was on Thursday because I was trying to play Castle Crashers. with Ori, and it took fucking forever to actually like get it to work. That's what it was. That's why Friday I got my car. Timeline has now been restored in my head. And I'm losing my goddamn fucking mind. And I can't do it. And I try calling them, and they'll be like, well, there's an outage in your area. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I decide yesterday, I'm like, okay, I have changed everything. Why is it going back? Like, if I got to play with people, I'll just play off my hotspot. Like, fuck my data. I don't care.
Yeah.
I check the app. I'm going to check it right now because I don't think it's changed. I checked this Saturday morning, my Cox Communication app, because sometimes it'll say that there's an outage, and then I'll check like an hour later and there's no outage. Mm-hmm. Ooh, network impairment. We've identified a network impacting event affecting the consistent delivery of service to your home. We know this can be frustrating, but we do appreciate your patience while our teams work to resolve this event. Your estimated repair time, April 5th, 12:01 a.m. And I'm like yesterday, I'm like, is that an April Fool's joke? It's still here. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? Like, so I was telling my dad about it this morning. He goes, are you having to pay for your service right now? And I'm like, well, yeah. And he goes, you should call them. You could like, because my dad's that kind of guy where he's like, oh, call him bitch about. Yeah. And I'm like, I guess I could do that. Like, why not? Because at the same time, like, if it's super inconsistent and like, I understand that you guys are providing me that internet, but there's clearly a massive issue that is not necessarily my router at this point because like I fixed that problem. And it's like been going out a lot lately in general to where like I think it is something in the area that's like fucked up. And I'm just like, who did this? You know, that's when neighbors start to get angry. And I don't want to go talk to people and be like, is your internet good?
Right.
So I don't know what to do.
I don't know.
But it was a lot. The crux of it in my head was like I felt like Andy Dufresne when I had to go drive my car 3 blocks away because this little box keeps like I got to drain the battery somehow.
Yeah.
I needed to stop trying to do things. But now I have it to where that little, when I'm hardwired, it says I'm on Netgear and I cannot for the life of me figure it out. Although I haven't really tried to Google that yet because at that point I was just done. Mm-hmm. But maybe I should Google it. I'll write it down in my notes. Yeah. Anyway, what's new with you? Give me something. I talk too much.
I hate April Fool's Day.
Yes.
I hate it. Mm-hmm. I hate it. And so before I had a channel and an online presence, April Fool's Day didn't really matter. It was just something that I hated as a person.
Yeah.
But then like once I had a channel and stuff, like I started my channel in July of 2020. So I had gotten a sizable following by my first April Fool's Day. Mm-hmm. And I felt a lot of pressure to make an April Fool's something.
Because you're a funny haha guy.
Because you're supposed to.
It is Happy April haha day.
Right. And you're supposed to give, you gotta do it like the other girl should have been doing.
It's free content.
Give it to the gals.
It's like from a purely like analytical point, it is one of those times where it's free content. Like near Halloween, do some spooky stuff.
Right.
It's free. Like holidays, like the creativity doesn't have to take as much juice.
There's certain expectations, especially since by that point I had already done other themed audios of the sort. I had done like spooky audios for Halloween, holiday audios for the holidays, So it was like
summer for Hot Boy Summer.
Well, we hadn't gotten there yet.
Mm-hmm. Cold Boy Winter.
We still hadn't gotten there yet either. Mm-hmm. This is
the games.
We weren't there yet.
Okay. Inversion. Cataclysm.
No. You're going forward. We need to go back.
Oh, we need to go back.
We need to go back in time.
Oh, the Prey gameplay.
Closer, but still farther back. So yeah. So
the first Vincent audio. Is it after that?
It's after that.
Okay. Was that the first video on your channel?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a range. It's between the first Vincent video and I guess.
What was the earliest thing that you said?
I just forgot to.
Probably.
Oh, the Prey gameplay video.
With Hot Boy Summer.
Hot Boy Summer was before that?
First Hot Boy Summer was before the first Prey audio, I think.
So Hot Boy Summer. Okay, so it's sometime in there. Got it.
I don't know.
This is all making more sense to me now. I continue.
It's all coming back to me now. So by that time, I was already expected to do an April Fool's Day thing. I didn't want to. But
got me nervous that I got it wet or something.
No, the scratches, I always think it's like hair or something, even though I always know, and so I brush it anyway.
I wonder what's wrong with this computer.
I don't know.
We should troubleshoot it one day. Anyway.
Someday.
I also had an idea for
honestly, I need to just rip the... I think I need to take I need to strip some of the parts from my old computer where like the hard drive fucked up and put it in here and just like soup this thing up and then it would be fine, I think.
Mm-hmm. Probably. Yeah, why not kind of like use the two...
I need to make a Franken computer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I was, there's the expectation of making April Fool's stuff. So like the very first April Fool's Day, I did like the first like Max's Rustic Pizza, haha. Mm-hmm. It was like like me doing live action kind of a thing. It was like a hee hee ha ha, how funny. Because I was like, that's like low impact but funny.
Yeah, and doesn't affect the lore or anything. Yeah, it's just fun.
This will just be a fun time. So I made that, and then I released that for April Fool's Day, and that was good enough. But what I had originally wanted to do for April Fool's Day, knowing that I hate April Fool's Day, but I was like, but this is an opportunity to make a shit post, and like, there's no judgment, Like, you can make a shit post whenever you want, and I do. But like, April Fool's Day is the one time when it's like, you can make one, and it's like...
No consequence.
No consequences. You don't even have to clarify that something is non-canon. It's just known, because it's April Fool's Day.
Which is a coward's way.
Yeah. Which is why I had made things before and after, not on such a day.
It's just like, hey, if I'm in the mood to do a funny haha, we'll do a funny haha. Like, there isn't always a bit for streams, but when the mood strikes and you get a creative bug up your ass.
Well, it's like, especially as a channel where like people are so invested in like the lore and like what is canon and
kind of need to take it a little seriously.
It's a very easy benchmark to go like, hey, because this was April Fool's Day, this isn't serious, this isn't lore, this is absolute dog shit, without me having to like broadcast it all over the place.
Like give it away in the title.
Yeah, so it makes it easier in that regard. So that was when I made my second April Fool's Day, when I made the Nick the Necco, horrible audio, which was a lot of fun to make. But I hate April Fool's Day. I fucking hate it. And I realized over time that the only thing I hate more than April Fool's Day is feeling like I have to make something for April Fool's Day. And it has to be irreverent and it has to be funny. I didn't want it.
No.
So this year I just didn't. I released like a completely earnest, normal video on April Fool's Day because I'm like, I just don't like April Fool's Day.
The greatest joke the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
And like, I wish I hadn't set the precedent for 2 years of having April Fool's Day. But that was like, and so for a little bit I was like, I got to come up with something. And I was like, no, I don't want to make something and I don't have to. And just because I did it 2 years before doesn't mean I have to do it this year.
If especially if it's like stressing you out, I relate a lot to that. Where like this, no one said you had to do anything, but our own internal like feeling of obligation, and you have to just stop and go. If you don't want to do it, and it's just causing you stress, then don't do it. No one's demanding it. And if people get upset about it, then they can be upset. We are not responsible for other people's feelings. Asterisk. That doesn't mean be a dick to people on purpose, but like it's important in my eyes to take into account people's feelings, but like understand that you can't control, especially if like, okay, look, I took into account that this is nothing offensive, nothing that's going to hurt anybody, but like if people still could be mad, like at a certain point, like you're mad, like ho's mad. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. But yeah, so I didn't make one this year.
I'm the hoe. And
that felt good to not make one. But then as soon as I opened up my YouTube feed on April 1st, that hallowed day,
of course,
yesterday,
it was very annoying all day.
Every video that was coming up, I was like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I know every one of these is a deception and a lie and deceit and a mendacity, and I don't want it in my life. I don't care for this. I don't like April Fool's Day. I just don't like it. And I was like, my entire like YouTube recommended is now worthless all day today.
And like, what else am I supposed to do?
Exactly. What is one to do with their time?
Do I want to listen to the same 7 songs that YouTube will recommend I watch and always play in the same order? A jumbled order, but the same. And you're like,
it's a divine compilation of music.
Yes, I appreciate it, but also a small bit of variety would be delightful.
Give me a little something. So yeah, so I was just like, I hate this day. And in an unrelated but related because it hurt me way, on Friday, the evening of the 31st of March.
Mm-hmm. Hallowed be.
Praised be. Because, it's a Friday, the new episode of Drag Race was supposed to come out. And I buy it on Amazon because I don't want to deal with live television. Because, I hate it.
I still own Drag Race Season 8 because apparently I bought it on YouTube.
Yeah. So it was like, okay. So usually it comes out that evening. Sometimes if something's wrong, it won't come out until the next morning. Like, it comes out after it's live, obviously. But, it hadn't come out that night, Friday night. Wake up Saturday morning, still hadn't come out. And I was like, oh, this is weird. And then, Saturday just continued. And, it still wasn't coming up. And then I found some, forum posts where people were, screaming at Amazon about how, this is unacceptable. And, you have to, you should refund us. And I was like, not to be that bitch, but, they're right.
Damn, I don't like getting on hate trains necessarily because sometimes people bitch, but
right,
it is consistent. What's going on?
There's no need to be nasty, but there is an expectation. The expectation wasn't met, so there should be some kind of recompense for that.
Are you gonna give me a coupon or something?
Right, give me something. I don't know, some shit. But yeah, I was just but honestly, I'm not even like that. I'm not I want something in return. I'm I just want the thing I wanted. Just give me the thing. Just give me the episode. I don't want a coupon saying sorry. I want the episode. The apology has changed behavior. That's what I want. I want the episode. So where is it?
Where?
Hint, it's still not up.
Why did you... I couldn't get past this when you were can I get something? You did this.
I said something.
Well, yeah, but you didn't let your fingers go. So it really just looked like, can I get something? And then I was like, oh. And then you kept going and I'm like, oh, that wasn't a bit. I'm like,
I don't think I did that.
I'm pretty
Watch
certain.
the tapes.
I made a point to not say something because I'm I don't need to keep interrupting. Trying to no, just listen. I'm I can bring it up because I don't know, is this a bit that you're about to bring back up? Is it all good? And I'm oh, a little rub and tug. Can I get something?
A little something.
Yeah, and I thought it was very. You just did a quick little a little something.
Well, that's all it takes, just one.
Yeah.
You do it right.
Like a go. Huh? You gotta put a little pressure.
Yeah. So still no episode.
Yeah, still none.
And I was is this an April Fool's Day? But now it's the 2nd, so it's not April Fool's no more.
You're right. Now it's just you the April Fool.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I hate April Fool's Day. I think it's a stupid holiday.
Yeah.
Because I don't really think it's a holiday. I think it's an excuse to do things that I don't like. For others to do things that I don't like.
Going to any family holiday, for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care for April Fool's Day. And so I think I've decided that I'm just not going to do it anymore.
Okay. Plus, that leaves the possibility for if you're ever feeling a little funny ha-ha, you actually can participate.
Well, the other thing...
you almost remove the obligation because now you're obligated to not do anything, which is already how you're inclined to be.
Well, I had the thought where I'm okay, well, let's think about it this way. I don't like April Fool's Day as a consumer of content. So... why then would I make April Fool's content as a creator and encourage the culture of having April Fool's Day content? That doesn't read. That doesn't make sense. Why am I becoming part of the problem? Because of expectations. And there's no need to follow those expectations. So I was I'm not going to do this anymore. I love a shitpost. I think shitposts are so much better, though, when you don't know it's coming. Everything in my feed on April Fool's Day, I know it's a joke and a joke that I don't find funny. So I'm I'm already coming into this mad.
It's just annoying. And because sometimes people do post real shit.
It's the content equivalent of someone being oh my God, you're gonna love this thing. I know you're gonna love it. I'm stop telling me funny. What I want.
Yeah.
Exactly. Someone being this is funny, watch it. And I'm
It's just, oh, hey, I think you'd like this.
Yeah.
So obviously you don't like when people ask you to do anything.
Yeah.
But if one were to share something with you that I don't know, I guess I would like some feedback because I have done my best since many years ago, an offhand comment, not the what are you good at, not that one. Not that I'm hung up, I say as I brought it up.
I'm never going to live that down.
No. I'm so sorry.
I've been misquoted.
I'm not trying to attack you. I'm so sorry. I just rather was I wanted to be clear that it wasn't that by mentioning it and bringing it up when no one else had. But rather that I'm just I thought this was cool. Like, I don't care if you actually like watch or listen to anything.
Yeah.
But typically, if I saw something, like, I'm gonna send it to you because I thought like, I'm like, if I think you'd like it, I got a relatively decent idea. But like, I also feel like I've not been like pushy. You know what it was. And I understand now what you meant at the time, and I'm gonna put this is in brackets. This is a rough memory of what you had said, but it was like, you know, I will hyper focus and get a little too into games, and sometimes I will like go above and beyond the level of interest that like you may have had, where I will kill games, was the word that was used.
Yeah.
And I understand. And it was interesting and was a valuable lesson on, one, not being annoying. Two, more lessons to be learned, I'm sure.
TBD.
Didn't think this far into the bit. I didn't even no, but like I get what you meant now, which is just like, there's also a little intimidating. It's like, oh, I like something, and then like someone gets into it, and then it's like, okay, now they're like the thing that you were like crazy about 2 years ago, they're now going through, and you're just like, well, yeah, like I already know. Like, can you have any other interests? And it's like, which I'm not here to like dissect it, because it's not like one person's right or wrong. Like, you know, it wasn't like a mean cutting comment that like hurt me to my core, and I had to go talk to my therapist about it. But I touched my nose because you touched your nose.
I know.
Was that on purpose?
No.
Okay.
I was touching mine because it itched.
Oh,
sometimes
just let me know. And
sometimes I perform actions for me.
Autonomy.
It's been known to happen.
Near and far.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I get it, because sometimes it's like, okay, it's a little much, and it's like all consuming. And part of that is also recognizing, okay, well, like I can hyperfixate, and that's fine, but also like I can relax a little bit. And sometimes it's nice to change up and do variety. Also, I think a lot of that too is just we live together. And or like at, you know, in whatever capacity between old apartment, new apartment. I still love our wall. I think about that wall that you painted, or you came up with the design for, and
I
like
was really happy with
that. Was such a cool, like, I really enjoyed our apartment. I just want you to know that. I need you to know that.
I have very fun, excellent memories from living there. Yeah. It was a good time.
It was a very, very fun time. We hardly ever used that couch in the living room.
Hardly ever.
We were never in it. We hardly used the TV that was in that living room.
Almost never. Almost exclusively
to like
when intoxicated.
And barely, because why would you do that when you could just go into the game room?
Yeah.
Part of me does miss having 2 TVs like that.
Yeah, it is nice.
Because even as like a single person, like I'm not playing with anybody else. It's like I had my my laptop set up.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it makes it so much easier to do everything. And like part of me is like, well, you could still do that.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about putting a TV in my bedroom, actually, even though there's not really like a good place to do it. I was thinking,
what wall would you put it on?
I would need to get a smaller TV first of all, because I don't think my 55-inch would work there. Which like I could also get a bigger TV for my living room.
Yeah.
Because there's the one in my sister's room, but she also like never uses it ever, and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, like I could also just take it, but again, there's not really a whole lot of room.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if I got like a smaller one, there's on like the window, there's to the left and right. Like I think on the left, there's actually a little bit more space where I'm like, I think you could get like a, you know, I might have to like the mount would be something that like maybe comes out.
One like the swing arm one.
Yeah, like a swing arm. Or if I were to get like a thin shelving unit, whatever, that wasn't too big because there's not a whole lot of space around the bed.
Yeah.
I have a king size bed in a room that's got, the bedrooms are a little bit, it's tight. It's tight. And not real realistic. I mean, if only I had gotten a good maternal feng shui recommendation about this, I would have a better shot in the dark about what to do. A better idea. I can't really do it. So I was thinking about this the other night. I'm like, because like sometimes, like if my sister, and this is only a problem because like it's my sister living with me and like she's pregnant, so I need to like, I don't need to, but I just choose to, like, if she wants to watch TV, she's working all the time. Like, yeah, she can go ahead and have the TV. But I'm like, she never watches anything in her room, and I'm not going to go into her room to watch something. So I end up watching stuff either like on my phone, but it doesn't help because I want to be on my phone.
Right.
Or like just at my computer. And then I'm like uncomfortable because like My chair is not really meant to be like I can like lean back and like lay down, but it's not comfy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sometimes I just want to like lay down and watch something, and I want to do that. So I was like, man, that'd be kind of nice to like, even if it was just like my Xbox in my bed, just for like, just for fun. And yeah, either that or I mount it to the ceiling and have it come down, and then I could that would get annoying.
Yeah.
Middle ground is just using the arm clamp and maybe just putting the switch in there. Because I think you can have like Netflix and shit, right?
I think so. Nowadays. You couldn't when it came out and everyone was pissed about it. Mm-hmm. But I think you can now.
Interesting. Because then that would be like...
The screen's kind of small though.
Well, yeah, but like if it's like how you would have it like your phone, like that's pretty good. Like that's solid for like, wanting to do some stuff. Like I wouldn't be able to like, I don't think I can watch like my Crunchyroll and shit on it, but... like at least
you get a cheap tablet.
You're right. I have like, the tablet that I currently have is so old that I cannot download YouTube on it.
Yeah, you probably need to get a new cheap one.
Yeah,
but you can get them pretty cheap now, especially if you don't need to. If you only want one like as big as a Switch, like they're not bad at all.
Like $100.
Yeah,
if that.
Well, especially if you're just using it for like streaming and stuff. Like you don't have to worry about getting like 128 gigs, whatever.
Oh,
it
just
has to have enough to run the
like,
stuff.
I just need something with newer software and firmware.
Yeah.
Because like I'd like to be able to have. I'm like it's like a whole thing with the headphones and shit. I don't know.
I gotta piss.
Yeah. You're good. I understand.
Rib.
You okay?
Yeah. I'm trying to get over the cord without yanking down a light.
Oh yeah. Hello. My Adderall hit, so I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. It's a good time, and we're having fun. Thank you, everybody who came over to my stream, twitch.tv/Odiepus Rex on Friday. It was very fun. We had a very, 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 very fun stream, in my personal opinion, and that's all that matters to me, except everyone else's. I do care. Deeply, and I won't be working on that. No, that's not true. I probably will. Do you guys ever just get like annoyed at like the most stupid shit? Like it's something that like has no impact on you by any means. It has nothing to do with you. Like you oversee something in a grocery store and it just like makes you mad for no reason, and you're just like, so stupid. I watched someone drop a bottle at the fries and it spilled and they just walked away, and I'm like,
hey Stinky.
Oh,
hey Stinky.
I don't know if that's
Stinky.
Playing. I think it is, but we just don't
Stinky.
hear it. Hey Stinky.
Hey,
interesting.
Stinky.
I don't know why we can't hear the hey Stinky. Oh, because we're muted.
No, it should be going through the focus, right? Oh yeah, it's muted, I guess.
Oh.
Or do FM.
Yeah. Wait, there's no FM. Oh.
There we go. Now Stinky.
Hey Stinky.
There we go.
That was easy. I wonder how we did that. Maybe it just defaults.
I don't know. I think maybe we did it. Maybe we just hit it. I don't know. At some point.
Is that wind?
No, those are the pigeons that like to roost on my roof. It's delightful. I spend most of my day downstairs, so I don't have to hear them. But
yeah, no, I get it. But also, it's just kind of funny because it's just like all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Yeah, they do it all the time. I hate it.
I'm real sorry when I have to get up and go pee, and then you have to just like
vamp
because I understand like all thoughts go out the window, and you're like, I'm just gonna be mad about like what was something I got annoyed with recently. That's the only thing I could think of to talk about. So,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What? Yeah.
No. What? Oh. You started to say something.
I was but then I saw that you were going to say something, and I was like, I can wait.
You started to vocalize.
Well,
I started to open my mouth, then you started.
But mine is written down, so I won't forget it.
Uh-huh.
It was the other thing I wanted to mention, but like if you had something.
No.
Yeah. So okay. Well, I was talking about before the stream, I think, about how like I look like an asshole.
Stream.
or before the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Because like with my buzzed head,
Yeah.
I feel like I look like a little bit of an asshole. Or if I'm wearing a hat, like, you know, I was wearing whatever. I was wearing one of my Umai shirts yesterday, and because I went to the grocery store.
Wow.
I wanted to go to the one near my house.
Yes.
But I could not turn left because of detours and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was like, there's another location of the store I want to go to.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
There's a few, and there's actually far better locations.
Much nicer ones.
You were right.
About the one that's like ours? Yep.
And it was magical when
Yeah.
I went in there, to the point, well, nothing's like set up the same, so I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But I also legitimately, like, I went in there for 4 things to make Zuki a birthday cake, which I did. Made it out of tuna, and he loved it, and then Lulu ate it. But I garnished it with the shrimp you saw. And he seems like he enjoyed it, and I was actually really proud of myself. And MCGM had sent me the recipe on the Discord, and I was like, I'm going to do it. Because I don't want to cook for me. I'll cook for him. He's a king. I got to wear my Freddy's Fast slot for no reason, because... Well, that's
there
not
was
true.
a reason.
There was a reason. I was cooking. I was baking.
Of course.
Yeah, that's it. Why are we so negative on ourselves?
You can do things just for you, and that's enough.
You're right. I'm there. I'm wearing my Umai into the circle of void.
I was thinking we should move it up.
Yeah. So that we could see stuff like this, or...
No, just in general, because like sometimes we like swing in and stuff, or like I'll like gesticulate over here, you'll gesticulate over there, and they can't see it, and I'm like, it might as well just be in this void space anyway, and then it gives us more like room to, you know.
Yeah, because even then, like, even if it's cut, it would only cut into it. Is that something we can move now?
Sure. I think they're grouped together. Oh, they're not even grouped because it's just one thing. Which one is it? Is it this one?
Yeah, I think it's height.
They just saw a forbidden thing.
Yeah.
Oh no. Hello. What did I just move?
Scroll up and down. Oh, as I say, we do want to see what was selected. Oh, so that's not... It's not going to let you just, like, push it up.
Why not, though? Ah!
So I think if you...
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Boop, 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 boop.
Hype season 3.
See, I think like there, right?
Yeah, I think
it doesn't block anything, and now we can like.
Yeah, or like it's just like, you know, oh, you know, we're not like
Milady.
Madembe. Yes.
Sir.
Also, I believe it's 2 days late now, but happy Trans Visibility Day.
Happy Trans Visibility Day.
I hope all of you trans people
we're very visible.
that were decloaked.
I hope you showed yourselves. Finally.
Please don't threaten the trans community with a knife.
I threaten them with nothing.
It's a kitty cat knife.
I'm threatening them with a good time.
Show them the paw. Hide the blade.
And then the blade.
Because you know what you're doing? You're helping them cut ties with people who don't support them.
That part.
See, that's called recovery. Rudy taught me that before he got
with consultation from our legal counsel, Al Carina.
Al Carina. Oh, yeah, I think that looks a lot better.
Like
although I hate it.
Right,
because it's different.
But it will become
just white guy face.
Happy trans visibility.
You know what we should do for June?
June Jambalaya, friend of the channel.
June Jambalaya, our correspondent, our feet on the street. We should make a Hype Pride logo for June.
For when we go Corpo?
Yes, I do it every year. I love Corpo Pride Month. It's my favorite.
Right.
The people rioted for the Pride Egg, and I got to bring it back in June.
Some say it never left.
It's so much fun.
Some say those ducks. Toronto. Canada.
Oh. Anyway, I was wearing like one of my Umai shirts, and
Gilai, Bilai, Petrat, Gumai, Kendai.
Yes, I don't know that, but yeah. I love Katamari Democracy or whatever it is.
Gilai, Bilai, Petrat, Gumai, Kendai.
Is that?
I think it was a Vine at one point. Oh. It's this guy who's using this he's like making his voice just sound horrible, and he has a Jelly Belly pet rat gummy candy, and he chooses to mispronounce it so violently.
Okay, so
it's
that's
Gilai, Bilai, Pete Rat Gumai Kendai.
hate
for
that.
Jelly Belly Pet Rat gummy candy.
I hate that. Okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen it now.
Yeah.
Anyway, this girl, it was a very sweet overall interaction, but it was just like funny because I was like, do I look like?
Do I look?
Kinda. So I'm like, I'm ringing up all my stuff, which I went in to buy some tuna, 1 egg white.
Yep. Just the egg white.
A tiny bit of flour. Yeah, just the egg white, and then
cracked it open.
A little bit of cheddar cheese.
I don't need this.
Yeah, no. The only thing I could get was a big ass thing, and then I realized when I got home, like I could have just bought a thing of eggs and just cut out the yellow.
But would you have used them?
No.
And they're expensive.
So instead of paying $4 to $5 for the carton of eggs, I spent $10 on liquid egg whites and only used enough for one.
$10.
It was the only one they had.
Good heavens.
And I didn't want to keep going to places.
Well, they last a long time.
Yeah, but not that long.
Egg whites last longer than just like
Yeah,
whole
but
eggs.
still, like I got to use them by like June.
Freeze it.
I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to eat them anyway.
Then why'd you? Okay.
For him.
Right. Always for him.
Well,
that sounds like you just got to make him more.
So that's the other thing is I can't. Now that I know how to make it, I'm like, oh, but I can't keep making it for him all the time. But
make a lot of them and freeze them. Boil your pasta water at the beginning of the week and then freeze it.
Exactly. I keep it in the microwave.
I keep mine in the microwave.
This girl goes, she's like,
free.
I like your shirt. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. She's like, I like your shirt. I was like, oh, thank you. She goes, yeah. She goes, it's very cute. And I was like, thank you. And she goes, well, no, I just mean like she's cute. I mean like you could, like she's just cute. Like I'm not saying like, you don't have to like be cute, or anything like that. And I'm just like, as if like I would be upset that she called my shirt cute because like I'm a masculine man. And I'm like, did I just get like typecasted as like masculine? An energy that I didn't know about, and I don't think I wanted. Like, not that I would argue like, well, then if you're masculine, you're feminine. It's like, well, no, I just like not very hyper masculine,
right?
Which I feel like is more of a standard in a sense of like your general, guy, like John Guy, the dude. People who were able to play the guy game on the Xbox. A dream. Yeah. I just want to know what it is.
The guy game?
Yeah. Like I know that it's basically just like more or less like porn.
Yeah.
But like it was not available on Xbox, and I'm like, it was something as like, I'm like, what is this? He's got like cool girls on it. What the fuck is this? Why are they so pretty?
Buy it.
It's probably expensive.
Almost certainly. Because
it's porn basically for the Xbox
But it's not even like real porn, I don't think.
No.
I think everything's censored. Because like they can't make like real porn.
No, that's illegal. No, they could do that on the. They didn't have the processing power.
They could make it on the PlayStation.
Well, but they have to be.
I bet there was porn on the Sega Saturn.
I'll
say it.
I think that there's.
I'll be brave.
I think that there was porn on the PlayStation, but the problem is that it didn't really like take off a whole lot in general mainstream because they could only have like same-sex porn.
Right.
Because it's the gay station. Hashtag Team Xbox. You know what they call the Xbox 360? Because you see it and you turn 360 and walk away. Because it sucks.
And you walk right back to it because that's what 360 is.
Don't tell that to the Sony ponies.
Ooh, Sony. Ooh.
This was a very fun bit where we just mocked our 14-year-old selves, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was not allowed to hate on Sony too hard, though, because Josh was a Sony boy.
Yeah.
Also, I had nothing against Sony except that I think that their controllers feel horrible. I hate the button arrangement, but that's just a personal thing.
I like having like the buttons, like L1, R1. I'm like, I like RB, LB, RB, or LR.
I just don't like where
trigger or bumper.
I just don't like where the things are placed. I don't care for it, but
yeah,
I have nothing against PlayStation as a company.
I will say I like a lot of their exclusives. I think that they tend to have better exclusives sans Halo. I know. Or I assume, as Yumi. Yeah. But anyway, this girl, she was just like she kept like kind of like trying to like talk around like like I don't have to get. I was like, what? I'm like, I can be cute if I want to be. Like it's okay. I'm like, no, she's very cute. Like that's why I bought the shirt. Is that like she's cute. Like because I want to look at it.
Right.
Like that's the whole purpose. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then like she's like, oh yeah. She's like, so what? Like I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I just wanted to like look cute while I like bought stuff for the cake. And she goes, oh, what kind of cake are you making? I'm like, I'm making a cake for my cat. And then the guy next to me, he goes, you're making a cake for your cat. And I was like, yeah, like out of tuna. Like it actually is just like a little bit of flour and like a little bit of egg white just to make it stick. I bought an entire bag of mild cheddar cheese so that I could get 1/8 of a teaspoon of cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
Because I'll do it for him. And then I guess Lulu, because he knocked it out of his thing because he's an asshole and likes to play with this stuff. And then she just went, and I went,
she snatched it.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope that's fine for you, Lulu. I don't know, you dumbass. And then the guy was like, oh, he goes, you know, I have a cat, like, you know. And then like we're just talking about cats, and I'm like, this is a much better. This is a very fun conversation. It started out with me getting typecast as like a dude bro, and not gonna lie, part of me was like, I could pass for a dude, bro. It wouldn't hold up because I don't have the attitude.
Right.
But apparently...
The chatitude.
The chatitude. Oh, the chatitude. It's so good.
Yeah.
And yeah. And that was it. I was like, I'm like, you really like think that like I wouldn't like... Which then I'm like, is it possible that like she said that like someone like had something cute on their shirt and a guy got like real fucking pissy and like...
Probably.
Upset? And then he was like, I was dressed similarly to that, maybe. And I just was like, wow, like, they're just words, my guy. Like, why are you so scared? Why are you so triggered, you snowflake?
Emotions are fun.
Are they?
They're a series of chemical reactions.
When they're good, they're good.
And then we just die someday, you know? So that's a thing.
Mm-hmm. When do you plan to die?
Well, you know me. I'm so bad about scheduling ahead.
You know, I have to keep pushing back the meeting. Like, things just keep coming up.
It's boss every time.
It's just so much. Like, hey, you got that final report done? Nah, not yet. But yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You got anything else? Mm-hmm.
This tight, wet pussy.
Mm-hmm. What about it?
I have it.
Is it tight and wet?
That's what the reviews on Yelp say.
How many stars?
I took them down.
Ooh, hide reviews.
I hid all reviews.
As you should.
Private.
Mm-hmm. I'm out of the game. I went private sector now. This pussy private.
Listen, they tell it pussy clean. They tell me pussy squeaky.
If the government legalized sex work truly and like actually like helped like, you know, provide safer like avenues for it, you could get government sanctioned pussy.
Yeah.
In a sense. And I think,
well, in theory, any you know, any pussy that you're getting without paying for it is government sanctioned in that regard.
Really?
Well, because it's, you know, it's not against the law
to have sex
that doesn't cost money.
Mm-hmm. That's true. You're allowed to have, the government lets us have sex for free.
Yeah. And they won't let us pay for it. So really they're looking out for our bottom line.
Okay, but like, so now that but memes aside though, okay, so if it's free for us to have sex, we got to be careful.
I like the way your voice like almost broke at the end of that.
Because I kind of to have coitus.
If it's free for me to
have sex,
and
it's like that's all good. It's like okay, so like you can fuck, you can do that. And it's like okay, cool. It's like now if at any point anyone wants to profit off of this,
right,
you're going to jail,
right.
And it's like,
but in turn, the government isn't profiting on it, which is a shocking turn of events because usually if they were going to make it so that you couldn't make money off of it, it's so that they could.
Well, or rather that like you can make money out of it, but we're getting a fucking cut.
Right.
Like you're gonna make us money.
Yeah.
Which is like the government. Is the government a pimp? I mean, they are.
No, because they won't let you do it.
That's true. The military-industrial complex is though. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't let you, but even
also,
though sex work is work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, of course, there's lots of regional laws about I'm seeing the comments now, but there's also lots of regional laws that say that you can't have sex unless you're married, that are on the books, but aren't enforcing more that you can't have sex unless you're married, or you can't have a same-sex relationship or a relationship with a trans person or things like that. So of course, this is all in good fun, but
yeah, of course, that's also really fucked up.
Yeah,
and shitty. And also, again, why it's important to vote in your local elections and be aware it is work. It is exhausting. We know. But otherwise, if you decide to be passive, instead of just being angry, why not be angry and justified?
Yeah.
Gotta tell you, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Because, also, I gotta be honest, kind of what they're doing lately. It's a little,
Hey, Stinky.
I gotta say, you understand?
I understand.
Toe beans. So we have one package.
Yeah.
That we forgot to open
from a prior
last week.
engagement.
And then I didn't go check packages this week.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll have to do that next week.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll just have to do it before Sunday because it's closed on Sunday.
No,
but I think if we're gonna hang out on Saturday, we might record on Saturday. So
okay.
That was kind of our soft plan. We're still figuring it out what we want to do because I know you're busy next weekend. So, anywho, we have a package from Jess, Baby Miracle. Miracle. I had mentioned that I got 2 more, and Eric was like, yeah, open up yours, and then and then we opened yours, and then I just completely forgot because it turned into the thing. Okay. Thank you. We had already cut it open a week ago.
About a week ago.
This says stickers.
Stickers.
Okay. Stickers. We could open it.
What is an envelope for if not to be opened?
You're right. Oh.
Stickers.
Oh, that's fun, eh? You already does it, Bobby.
Is that a JoJo?
Yeah, that's Jotaro. He goes Yara Daze, which is good grief, essentially, but as Hank Hill. And then Trash Panda for the tower, being a trash tower.
Yes.
I don't know what the significance of the tower is necessarily.
Tarot.
Yes, I know that it is tarot, but I don't know what it represents, if it's meant for one of us or what. I don't know. I'll have to Google it.
You'll have to inquire within.
Okay.
Or inquire without.
I have there's just things.
They're packages.
Yeah.
Packages.
I think we just gotta go
start cracking this shit open and see what's. Throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we open up the stickers. Thank you, Jess. Baby Miracle.
Thank you very much.
I was just throwing it here because then we'll put it all back in the box. We gotta clean as we go and go as we clean. I was going to ask you, who do you think would be a good Hokage? But I'm you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, it's the leader of
Is that my Kokoro heart?
No, it's from Naruto.
Oh.
Yeah. Naruto.
Is that a Pokemon trainer?
No. Sometimes. Ooh, dude, they made, in the most recent Pokemon game, they made some of the trainers very well. Very cool. Ooh, a painted rock. A hype rock.
Hell yeah.
Wonder how far it skips. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is very wrapped.
Oh. Wrapped.
It's a jorts.
It's clay jorts. Oh, I love this.
Jorts bowl of sorts.
Oh, thank you. I hate it and I love it. I like that it's got cake.
It's got Juicy Dumpy.
It's got
Little Dumpy. It's got Little Debbie's.
What would I put in it? I have to put hot chocolate.
I don't think it's a cup. I think it's more of you put pens and things in it.
Yeah. A little. You know what these do look like? These look like the jorts that I'll sometimes wear in Fall Guys.
Uh-huh.
Because they got the big worker belt.
Yep.
It's very cute. I like this a lot. Thank you.
You like that, Mr. Dilham? That's a me and Brandon. Never mind.
Yeah. I understand. Oh.
You understand.
They don't understand. I don't understand, actually. Oh, what is this? Odiepus Rex and Puss has 2 S's.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, baby miracle.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you, baby miracle. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
Oh. Is this like magnet? It is.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, those are so...
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Meow. Good meow. And then one of like this infamous Jotaro video when in their final fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't beat your ass without getting closer.
Yeah.
And but it's me. That's very good. You want to hear a fucked up funny about this picture?
Sure.
It was like at 1 o'clock in the morning before this stream, which was my big 12-hour Five Nights at Freddy's stream, that like I got a call that like my dad's in the hospital for COVID.
Work.
And like I had to like tell my sister about it when I saw her in the morning, but like this stream started so early that I'm in full getup and I go, "Hey, Dad's in the hospital with COVID." And she goes, Why
are you dressed like
why
that?
are you dressed like this telling me this information now? And I went, "Cuz I got to get back to my stream." So like cuz there's nothing I can do right now. Like he's at the hospital.
Yeah.
It's good. Like, you know, that's what's up. And my dad was fine.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Okay, yeah.
Well, somewhat fine. Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's the one. And there's like a big one. Jeez Louise. You already understood.
I understand.
He understood the assignment.
Ooh.
Have you ever felt...
No.
Okay. That answers 2 questions. Yeah, I was watching. I've been watching a lot of Dr. K's videos over on Healthy Gamer GG YouTube channel.
Okay.
That's just the name of it, but like it's a, like grain of salt. It's not about gamers, to be clear. It just gets recommended to me all the time. And like he talks a lot about like anxiety, overthinking and stuff, and like critical ways to do stuff. And one thing, a video that I watched about like it was like about how to gain confidence, because I just was like curious what his takes were. And he's brought up the point that it's not necessarily like nobody can really gain confidence. You rather have to like figure out what caused your insecurity and work through it, because like when you're a kid, you're just confident. Like you just do shit.
Confidence is a lack of insecurity rather than a habit.
Yes, it's not that you gain confidence; it's that you gained insecurity. And then, like, once you start to like think about it like that, it's like, well, son of a bitch, why am I being afraid? Like, that's silly. That's a little goofy. I need the kitty cat. The kitty cat claws. This is very well wrapped. What's a fond memory of childhood that you have?
That's a great question. On Easter, when I was a small child,
Trifle wild, of course.
it made me think about it because I have a plan. But on Easter, I remember I woke up and my mom and dad would make us little baskets and hide them. Oh, this is a.
It's for you.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my goodness, this is like a whole ass thing.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
Jesus Christ. Thank you.
It's like a tankard.
Yeah, with like an actual like metal lid. With
That
the,
is a
with
cup.
The Federation insignia and everything. This is a cup. That's amazing. Thank you very much.
That's really cool.
You know what episode that's from?
No, what episode is it? Do you know what episode it's from?
Yes, I do. That's from the Doomsday Machine.
Oh, is that what that big like tunnel is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that from original series?
Yeah. Which is a miracle that I know that episode, but it's one of like the
few good ones.
It's one of the memorable ones. There are a few original series episodes I could tell you the name of, but that one, I know that one, Doomsday Machine.
Is it a cool episode at least?
It's okay.
They stopped the Doomsday.
The Doomsday Machine looks stupid
because it was from like the 60s.
Yeah, but it's a cool episode, I guess.
You can get past it because it's like relatively still like in accordance with the times that it was created. This was some crazy shit.
Yeah, this is so cool though. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's the Borg. That's the Idic symbol. Infinite diversity and infinite combination.
What is that? Is that like Q?
No, it's a Vulcan.
Collective.
Like, no, like the Vulcan's just like that. That's a Vulcan like phrase is the infinite diversity and infinite combination. So that's a symbol meant to represent that. So that's like a Vulcan symbol.
Okay.
That's the Klingons. That's the Federation of Planets, and that's the Ferengi Alliance, and that's the Romulan Star Empire, and that's Starfleet, and that's the Cardassians.
And now, who's bad? Romulans are bad.
Well, I mean, none of them are like fully evil except the Borg.
Mm-hmm. Are the Borg actually evil though, with evil intent, or rather they just have a goal?
They have a goal that involves the complete subjugation of everyone that they can and the obliteration of those that they can't.
That's a little evil.
With no respect for autonomy or individuality.
Got it.
So they're pretty bad. Mm-hmm. And they can't be negotiated with either. So, like, they're pretty bad. The Romulans are often an enemy. So are the Cardassians. And the Klingons are a hit or miss, depending on the series. But.
So is it also, in that regard, then, like, with the Borg basically being, like, typically, like, they're always an enemy. Very rarely would they ever be an ally. The other ones, it's more like these are kind of, like, yes, they're, like, races, right? Or alien species, but also kind of like it's almost like factions a bit, where it's like, yeah, sometimes like we're on good terms, sometimes we're on bad terms. Depends on the area, depends on the conflict.
There are, good Romulans, there are bad Romulans, there are good Cardassians, there are bad Cardassians. The Romulan Star Empire is often an enemy faction because they're, very insular and they want to conquer and stuff. So like they're often bad. The Cardassians are often bad, but like individually they're not like.
Is it tough to keep up with them?
The Cardassian.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When they broke the Federation.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's really cool.
Thank you very much. This is a hell of a cup.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So like my mom and dad would make like Easter baskets and stuff, and then hide them in the home because like we were old enough that it's like we weren't gonna do eggs.
Yeah.
But like they'd hide Easter baskets, and I remember I found mine in the island in like one of like the cabinets on the right hand side of it, under it where like we kept like the mixing bowls. I found mine down there, and it was green. And inside it was a Bionicle Exotoa model, which was the biggest Bionicle I had ever made at that point.
Oh, shit.
And it was so fucking cool. And it's a very good memory I have. And there's a picture of me holding it with this, like, smile on my face. And then there's a picture taken minutes later when I've opened up all the bags and the entire, like, coffee table is covered in pieces. And I look like a person on the brink of, like, an anxiety attack because I'm just like...
But you're also
there's too much. It's equal parts excitement and fear.
Yeah, it is. It is truly like, are you okay? Like you look legitimately distraught. Like you look like you've just been aged. And they're like, are you okay? And you're like, I've never had more fun in my entire life. I don't know where to start. As soon as I start, the fun's gonna start to end because it like the end is there.
Yeah.
Because I will say, I think even like my problem with because like I actually really liked Bionicles when I got them. I got a few, and I liked the building aspect, and then I didn't know what to do with it once it was done. And sometimes you'd like, okay, well, let's make some monstrosities by like combining stuff, but
MOCs, my own creations.
But that's why like I like Lego is like.
Yeah.
The problem is like I don't really want to like care to display most of it. Is kind of the problem. It's like the fun was building it. And I guess you could always just dismantle it.
Yeah.
But that feels like so much more work.
Yeah.
I guess you could just let a kid play with it for a few minutes and he'll probably dismantle it faster than you could. And dent a piece, swallow three.
They're evil.
Yeah. Fuck kids. All my homies hate kids.
You know your famous saying.
Stop.
No one that just said fuck kids.
If a kid like biffs it near me, they deserve it.
Right. What does it have to do with being near you?
If I see.
Yeah.
If a kid biffs in a forest.
If a kid breathes.
If a kid he's a bot. Just no. Anytime a kid eats shit, it's just like
it's funny.
It's like, get fucked, nerd.
Well, plus like they bounce back, it's fine.
Yeah. Kids don't cry.
All their parts are replaceable at that age. Teeth, you get new ones. Limbs, you're still growing them. Brain, it's still soft and gooey. You still got that like wet chicken breast up there. No lines, no wrinkles. So smooth and juicy.
Brain.
2 chicken breasts
They say
gently pressed against one another to form a brain.
Oh, I was gonna say that's my heart. Yeah. A quail.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Sickening.
We got questions. We can do question time. We didn't do questions last week. I think every other week is good, or whatever we want.
Whatever we want.
Windows has been really pushing this Windows 11 thing on me, and I'm just like,
Bite the bullet.
did you update your other computer to it yet?
I like it as soon as I found out that you can set it so that the taskbar can be set to the left instead of the center. I'm all for it.
Does it fuck anything up for you though? Like, did it fuck up any of your programs?
No.
Really? Like everything that's compatible with Windows 10 will just work?
Mm-hmm. For me, everything I use, but we use similar things, so you'd probably be fine.
Yeah. Because in that case, I should just
10 to 11 wasn't a big jump, you know, like it was. I mean, it's not like an XP to Vista kind of a jump.
Oh yeah, that was a big jump. Or Mojave.
Yeah. Oh, are you excited for that movie?
D&D movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that came out. There's a big D20 bucket. I don't know if you saw that. Here, click on the tab for Google.
Popcorn bucket?
Yeah. You can get it, I believe, at like AMC. I think. Yeah, AMC theaters. So it's like cool. A big,
Yeah.
I kind of want to get it, but I also I've also heard that it's good. Like it from what I saw from all the trailers, it felt like a D&D movie that was made by people who like play D&D.
Right.
And it's like, no, there's so much funny, ridiculous shit. Like it wasn't funny. It wasn't a movie that is serious that has comedy in it because it needs to sell tickets.
Yeah.
It's like, no. The comedy is all like
say Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Well, no, I just mean like you get what kind of movies I'm talking about where it's like
sure.
like the Marvel thing where it's like Marvel humor can get really exhausting really quick when it's just like it's good, yeah, but like they all kind of start to feel the same.
Yeah.
And my dad watched Thor 2 and said, I have superhero fatigue. And I said, I don't know, Dad. I think they'll keep making. He goes, no, I think they're going to be done here soon. And that was a long time ago. Okay. Are you trying to find the first one?
Trying to find the oldest.
Yeah.
Well, these are from the stream, so then I think anything after.
Yeah, I think anything after the stream. Excuse me. It's the prime. Almost 3 a.m. and I just now found this channel. All I gotta say is hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
La, 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 la.
We're very prepared for this. Can't you tell?
Yeah. We totally had it pulled up and everything. We normally do.
We normally do, yeah. This one we just weren't.
We're just chilling.
We're just chilling. Okay, this I believe is the
It's important to not put too much pressure on yourself, you know? What happened to the big old mitts? I have no idea. I'll have to... You know, one of these days I'm going to go through some of these old videos. If people have timestamps of like, what the fuck was Odie going to finish his story about? And be like, here's the lost stories.
Are you sure you want to, though? Because there's a very real possibility that you won't remember the story and then it will haunt you, too. It could be the joke in the shower all over again.
I'll take that into consideration.
These are the choices one has to make, though.
Sometimes you don't know, but sometimes like you start listening to it and you're like, oh, that's right. Because like, I don't know if you do this. Like whenever I watch the podcast, I will like remember what I was thinking in that conversation, and it makes it funny because I'm like, I don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what could it be?
It could be anything. It could be.
And like, I'm sure it's just the weirdest shit too. Like it's just, I don't know, like completely unrelated.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden I look and I'm like, oh, I could tell I'm in deep. Like I haven't said anything, but like, and I'm listening, but I'm like, I know that I'm thinking about like, you know,
them beans.
Nico or Neko Panda 122. You may read it.
For question time.
Not that I'm giving you permission, but rather like defaulting.
You have the floor.
I yield my time.
I yield.
Just kidding. Fuck you.
I yield to none.
You're right. Because I'm American.
And I'd love to meet this nun someday.
A wet nun.
Wet? In
Fire Force, an anime, which is made by the guy that made Soul Eater. there's Wet Nun in the I believe it's the opener, where the whole thing is like people turn into fire, blah blah blah, but like there's like a religious aspect of like when people become infertile and they like lose their humanity relatively, they like will defeat them, but it's like a putting them to rest thing. And so one of the scenes is like one of the nuns, she like in the little opener like is like in all of her clothes and it's just wet like from behind. And like when we were watching it on my Discord on Anime Nights, which I need to bring back, it was always like Wet Nun, and everyone had to say it. Like everyone was like, yeah, there it is, the Wet Nun. Like it doesn't, yeah, that's it. That was a joke for Snake.
For Eric, a lot of ASMR audio roleplay channels choose not to show themselves for privacy, to add mystery, to keep the speaker up to the listener's imagination, whatever reason. Is there a reason you didn't choose to do this? What's your opinion on this? My opinion on it in general is that like you can do whatever you want. I mean, like if you don't want to show yourself, like go for it. Like
yeah,
you have no obligation to. That's one of the cool things about being in an audio format, and I think it's really cool that there is space for that even on a video platform. That you know you can have a flourishing YouTube career and never have to show your face if you're not comfortable with that. So like I think that's cool. For me personally, honestly, part of what shaped it was thinking about like thumbnails and stuff, because like when I was starting out, I was like, because like I used to draw and stuff in the past, but I've never been like super confident in it because it's just not something I've put a lot of time into. It's something that like I get like personal joy out of, but that I don't put in the work to like make a marketable skill.
You like to do it like your Valeris was very like you just had a lot of fun drawing.
Yeah, it's always only ever been for hobby stuff, and I think that has its own value, but it's not at a level that I would want on my other content. So I was like, well, that's not an option, and not trying to throw any other creators under the bus, but I knew from day zero that I was not going to do what a lot of creators do, which is just grabbing some
anime boys or anime girls and just using them as like sex appeal to go ahead and sell the thing. I'll say it so that you didn't say it.
Yeah.
I got you, baby.
That. And
because they do that.
And usually not crediting the artist either.
Let alone that the voice doesn't even, it's fine.
I said it wasn't going to get mad.
I don't like it's not how I picture the voice and it doesn't fit.
Yeah. So I knew I wasn't going to do that. So it was like, okay, well, we got to figure out something else then. So you're trying to figure out like, okay, are we going to do like symbols for some of these? What are we going to do? And then for some of them, I decided like, well, I could just use like photos of me, like heavily edited and stuff. Cause the whole thing was like supposed to be like album covers. Like that was like the whole gist of it.
Cause of the tapes.
Cause of the cassette tapes. So I, played around with it somewhat and was like, oh, some of these look cool. So then like, as soon as I did it for one character, once I'd done it for Ivan, he was the first character that it was like a picture of me. I was like, okay, well then that
Is he the technician?
No, he's the yandere kidnapper one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So once I'd done one of his that way, I was like, well, I want it to be consistent. So then I was like, well, then all of his videos are going to be a picture of me in some capacity. And so over time, trying to like come up with like new, like, positions, poses and all that and everything, it just started like showing more and more of me to the point where it was like, well, people already kind of know what I look like. And like my profile picture back in the day was my face just with like redacted over the eyes. And so like you already could kind of see what I looked like. Cause I don't know,
they knew you were white.
Yeah. Because it just wasn't like a big concern to me. Like, I don't know, like I make stuff that I stand behind. So I didn't have that aspect of it. That's not why a lot of people, necessarily don't show their face. Like it's not because they're not proud of it, but like
everyone has their own reasons.
Yeah.
Comfortability.
And they have every right to those reasons. And it's not cool to insist that someone do a face reveal. So don't do that to people. But yeah, it was just like, for me, it just wasn't really a concern. Like I don't have, I don't know. I knew that like in theory it could be bad at some point if like, I don't know, if something blew up somehow, like it could be a problem, but I don't know. It just wasn't like a major concern for me. And I was comfortable with doing it and I wanted to.
It's also kind of at the point where like if something affected you outside of the realm of this, it kind of like wouldn't be the end of the world at the same time.
Yeah, but that wasn't the case when I made the decision.
That's true.
but yeah, it was just something where it was like, I don't know, it was a risk I was willing to take in the effort to, you know, I don't know, like I wanted to be able to like do live streams and stuff and not have to worry about like, you know, hiding.
Like sometimes I have a lot of respect for like Eddie Burback, for example, where like, no, you just used your name. And then like, and I'm like, God, there's so much less stress with any of that. Yeah. Like you're not like trying to like think of anything differently. And like, this fine. You're allowed to do whatever you want, of course. Yeah. But like, and like, you know, there's choices for like, you know, I prefer using like my screen name. Like I'll still refer to myself as Steve. And like people that like know me, or if I've like interacted with them a lot, like it's fine. And sometimes people be like, oh yeah, like Steve. And I'm like, you can call me Odie. But I also feel like a dick for doing it. But it's also just like, there's not like ever like a good way to describe it where it's just like, well, I don't know, I'm moody too. Like I'm moody.
Yeah.
I don't know. And not very well, same vein of that, like just dealing with all of it, or like being willing to show your face, or being, you know, up to you. And you know,
yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah. And then the reason that I ended up ultimately like not using my face and body for thumbnails and anything going forward was like, at the time I was doing it because I was like, I hadn't found any good source of like places to get like icons and stuff, and like, you know, like I couldn't like the other ones that like, you know, you have to like pay for and stuff, like I, you know, like there were some that I paid for, but then other ones I was like, oh, this would be a cool symbol, and then I'm like, well, paying for like the rights of this is expensive, so then I was like, well, I'll just use a picture of me. So it was sort of like circumstances just led me to using myself, but then over time, from the very beginning, it was important to me to, you know, make my stuff so that people could imagine the character however they wanted. And then in those cases where I had characters where like there were pictures of me, it was like, well, that's kind of defeating the point of me wanting to make it so accessible to anybody, of being able to imagine however, because it's like, yeah, you can imagine however, but if the thumbnail is a picture of me, like you know, that takes a certain suspension of disbelief that some people don't do. So then I was like, well, then so I shouldn't use pictures of me anymore. So yeah, so that's why I stopped, except in unique circumstances, like when I did like the Ivan throwback video. Of course, that was a picture of me because all of his videos
pictures
had been,
of me.
So. Yeah. But yeah,
interesting. For Odie, was there any other thing / hobby you considered doing for stream other than gaming? Do you think in the future you might branch out from gaming? Interesting question, because like I don't feel like I don't actually always game on my channel. I actually lately, like, I will play games, but I'm not necessarily like there's a lot more going on in the stream a lot of times. Like recently, I talked about on my Friday stream, I did a halftime breakdown where I did a break, and since I still have my green screen tacked to my wall, tried to move stuff very quickly through on a sports jacket, but my webcam is like, the cords are not that long, and so I should have just set up the other one, but because they're both Razer Kaio Pros, it like everything, it hates doing that. And so I had a very close up face zoom with the background of the green screen so I could put it up on SportsCenter, and I did like, you know, a live breakdown, and then had 2 people call in, and then for the halftime performance, while I finished putting everything away, went to BRB and played a Rihanna video because she's, you know, Slay. She was the Super Bowl. I thought it was very funny. But like changed like the Odie fan of the day, or like the big wheel of rules. I wanted to like have more community involvement. So I actually now, if you're the Odie fan of the day, you get to write the question of the day. If you win marbles, you get to be the marble winner, and there's superiority there. And then we spin the big wheel of rules 3 times, and then whatever 3 rules we get, we do a community vote in the polls for what the rule is. And then that feels, I think it feels a lot more like I have less options to be like, no, I don't want to do that because I'm tired. And it's like, well, no, now it's a vote. Right. I have time to prepare. We'll do 3 of these. Who knows? Yeah. It's a fun time.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, like I don't really like do any other hobbies. Like I do play games in my free time, or like read. Like I do stuff in my free time that like would not be like fun to watch. Right. But I do also like we do a lot of like media shares. So like we'll like watch a lot of content. We don't really like, I don't really often do like reaction stuff, but I also am like not opposed to like, hey, we're just going to like try this type of stream today just to see, I don't know, is it going to be any fun? Is there anything that would be good or bad? Yeah. It's kind of tough because it's always, I feel like it's just easier to be like more critical on yourself and never feel like whatever you're doing is actually good because you're comparing it to, you know, a YouTuber you like who like does this shit every fucking day for 3 years, 6 years. And you're like, me on my first time, might as well just fucking be done with it. Delete the channel.
Yeah.
You understand.
Yeah, I understand very much.
I don't know why it'd be like that.
That's living.
It's tough. That's dying.
That's living. Get busy living or get busy dying. Am I right?
Sometimes.
For a long time, the wallpaper on my phone, I had graphically edited a little image, and then I put some text over it that said "Do shit before you die." I'm like, there are worse mottos to live by. Ironically, that was during a time in my life when I was probably doing the least.
Well, it's because you needed to hear it.
Yeah, but it didn't work.
You wanted to believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I am.
See, I think the key is you have to ask yourself, what's stopping me from doing shit before I die? And then you just got to actually, like, if you're willing to be uncomfortable for a little bit, and I do mean like a little bit, like we're not talking like days. We're talking, if you can just decide to finally be like, fuck it, I'm just going to like deal with this like thought and just like explore it, you might realize that like the little wall that keeps coming up is like really flimsy and you can just walk around it. Yeah. And like turns out that you've been blowing it up for no reason.
Yeah.
Because the threat's gone. Because sometimes techniques that we learn as children to deal with outside stress and whatnot continue to affect our behavior as adults, even though the survival mode instincts, whatever, have not been relevant in 20 years. Yeah. I learned that recently. And it's like, damn, you have to be like, hey, man, it's okay. Like, we're not there anymore. Like, this is just a doctor's appointment. We just got to call and make it. And like, that's it.
That's all. Yeah.
Can I just give my boss some, like, big report instead? Please? You understand?
You understand.
They don't understand.
Thoughts?
I think we've kind of talked about it before. Like we answered him in like the bald stream, and you know, I think we even talked about it at the beginning. So
hold on one sec. Okay, yeah.
Pussy sometimes.
Dean Barker goes a question time for Eric. So we all know that in the redacted verse that vampires can turn humans into vampires, but can the werewolves turn humans into werewolves? Please do tell. No, they cannot. The only conversion possible is
it's not
anything
possible.
Into a vampire. You can't be turned into a shifter. So
all shifty. Odie, what has been the weirdest thing you have seen or done ever? I just realized, I'm like, wait, I don't have an answer for this, and we literally just talked about it. I mentioned
because you had an answer.
Because I actually did have an answer. That was the whole thing, is that I did have one. I'm gonna try to keep this very short. I saw a UFO like 2 weeks ago, or at least like I do not know if it was an alien spacecraft. I did not see aliens or anything like that.
You saw something unidentified.
Yes, I saw something that I could not reasonably explain. It may have been a helicopter. That is possible because I didn't think about that in the time. So I think it's worth like acknowledging, but I don't feel like it was based on where it was and how it moved. I went outside with Lulu and I happened to like look up and like, you know how sometimes the sky, like it's not pitch black. It'll have like some kind of variations. So like if there's like, you know, stuff, yeah, it'll be like black, but like you could see that like, cause it's like a light purpley black behind it.
Yeah.
So I saw what looked like this fucking just like black kind of like wibble wobble sort of a thing that was like very like, if you think, a lot of the darkness stuff, like the little like triangle that makes like the little shield generator, kind of like that, like rotating, because it felt like there was a part that was like, if it was like a cylinder, there was a part that was like scooped out because I would see through it, which may have been helicopter blades. But based on like where it was and where it moved, I couldn't really tell. I went to go take a video because I like was looking at it and it was like really weird. And then it like, I had this like feeling, which is why I was so like adamant, because it's like, there's something wrong. Like there's something wrong with that. I don't, that makes me uncomfortable. And I have always like had an incredibly deep fear of aliens, but I also want to know if they exist. at the same time. Because, like, why the fuck would you not want to know? That's so crazy. Like, I mean, we could just assume that they want to hurt us or just that they're just chilling. I don't know, man. And it, like, was, like, moving and shit. And so, like, I pull out my phone and I, like, try to zoom in to see if I can get, like, a picture of it. I couldn't get a picture because it's not enough light. But I was able to take and start a video. And so I took a video and I'm like apologizing to the alien in the video, like, oh my God, I think this is a UFO. I don't know for certain, but like it looks really weird. And like, Mr. Alien, I'm really sorry if this is like an invasion of your privacy. Like, that's not my intent. But like, I just like am seeing this, and the fact that I can at least get like a little black dot on the video would be huge. And I like took this video, and then I remember like I'm like looking at it and I'd like look away because I was so zoomed in that I have to like, I kept fearing that I would lose it and that like I'd gaslight myself, but like I kept finding it, like it's moving. And then I like looked at my phone, and then like all of a sudden on my phone, it felt like either it was like a flash or like there was something in the video that like did a light enough to like get my ADHD attention, but then nothing was there. I was like, what the fuck? I look and like there's no video being recorded, and the button to hit record is like grayed out. So you can't do it. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? I'm like, that's okay. But like, I just took a video because I remember seeing it start, and then I went and did the thing. And I clicked on like my gallery because I took a video. Yeah. And in my gallery, the only thing that's there was a picture of my note of what Josh and I were going to work out on, because that was the last thing I took a picture of. And I'm just like, I don't want to say that whatever I happened to see was something that basically was like, don't record me. Right. But it's pretty weird and coincidental that happened, like that I don't have proof. Yeah. But like, I will say, you guys were there, we played Divinity. I feel like I probably seemed pretty fucking serious about it. Like, I was very freaked the fuck out after typing up a whole thing and then being like, I'll just tell you because I can't, how can I not? This is fucking crazy. Yeah. And I remember when I like went to go back, I'm like, clearly you don't want to like do it. And I remember it like still seeing it in the sky. And I was just like kind of watching it for a second, just being like, I have no idea what the fuck this thing is. It doesn't look like anything I would recognize, because I've seen helicopters at night. And like, is the whole reason I looked at it is I used to get really afraid seeing planes at night, but it's like, no, planes have lights. And sometimes you can't see the light, but like in general, they make it so that you can see it from wherever. And I'm like, whoa, there's like a plane with no light. What the fuck? And I'm like, that's not even shaped like a plane. That's not even like, oh. And like, that's what spurned it. And then the last time when I was looking at it, I then got this other feeling. I'm like, oh, maybe I like pissed it off for like, you know, or something like, or like it's got some inner like frequency that can like detect. And I was like, I don't want to piss it. I like out loud was like, I am so sorry, Lulu going inside. And she like didn't like normally wants to like fight me to do it. No, we went inside, no problem. And like kind of coming down. So like, that's the weirdest thing that's ever happened. That was very recent. I have no idea what it actually was. I'd love to know. Yeah. But also, yeah, it was just weird. Yeah. Because we are near Luke Air Force Base, to be rational. By near, I just mean there's one like in Phoenix.
We're in the general region.
Yeah, and like it's not uncommon. There was a bunch of helicopters out the other day, I think yesterday, which was weird. I don't know what that was about, but yeah. I hope they're looking for my internet. But that's it. Yeah. Thank you. And okay.
Okay, so
Glitter asked, question. Haven't asked a thing for a few videos because I couldn't think of anything, but since I started welding school, I realized how much I'm healing my little pyromaniac inner child. So I want to know if y'all have been doing anything that's been healing your inner child / teenager. And if you haven't, what would you want to do such a thing? So this was a hard question. We debated on answering it because I know you didn't have an answer, and the only thing I could come up with was like Legos.
Yeah, I don't have a great answer, only because like the most of the things that like, you know, inner child me, teenager me,
like loved and for whatever reason stopped loving or wasn't able to do.
Yeah, I have already sort of like reintegrate into my life. Like, you know, a few years back, I was like, I want all of my old Bionicles again. I want all the old Bionicle comics that I used to love reading again. Like, I want those things back in my life, even if it's now in more of like a display form rather than like a playing with it form. Like, even though those aren't the ones that I had, there's still memories attached to them.
You like looking at them. You like having them around.
I like having them. They make me happy. So
yeah, that craft room's nuts.
Yeah, so like that was kind of, I guess that's kind of my answer. I never thought of it as healing per se, but if it's the like tapping into that like that childhood thing that was lost, like it was getting those things back. Finally being able to like display all of my like trains and everything that I've had for a long time, and getting new ones that I've always wanted and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess that's my answer. Also, I guess kind of reading lately has been really cool.
Yeah.
Like tapping back into that and being like, this was something that was like so important to me as a kid that like, I used to do it all the time. And then I just like let it fade out of my life. And now I'm like back in it and reading all the time to like almost to the detriment of other things, which like is cool because I know it's going to like come back down again. So I'm just sort of riding the high of like the fixation for the moment of like, am I reading to a point where it's like obstructing other things? Yeah, but it's also kind of like I'm loving it right now, so like let myself love it at
like,
this moment.
You're gonna beat yourself up no matter what about what you should be doing and how you should spend your time, but the truth is, like, there's no requirement for anything. Like, there just isn't. So like, you know what? If you're gonna do it anyway, like, why make yourself feel guilty?
Yeah.
Like, just enjoy doing it. Like, I've been like wanting to play Elden Ring because I need one last achievement in that fucking game. Been like 2 weeks. Every day I think about it. I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll play. I'll get around to it. And then I'm like, should I break myself over? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm keeping it in mind because it is something I'd like to do when I will eventually make the time to do it. And like, as soon as I do, it'll be fun. But at the same time, like, I don't beat myself up over it. Like, oh God, I need to do this, because it's like, no, I just don't want to. Like, I just haven't really been playing a whole lot of games, like console games, off stream. So I'm like trying to get back into it a little bit because there's like a lot of really cool games that like I bought and I have yet to play. Yeah. So yeah. Got it for now. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I think.
Kale, I have terrible news.
Kale, oh no.
The Game of Beans are not gluten-free.
Oh no.
So
also, aren't they discontinued?
They are discontinued. So like that feels a little bit better. That I'm like, okay, it's okay.
Do you still have some?
I still have some. I have a collection of them. For friends and neighbors and emergencies, because it's now out of my wheelhouse. But the weapon, the armistice has been declared. The weaponizing has been de-escalated. I'm no longer able to get weaponized on the beans, but
you can't. The Bean Boys.
It is a loss. But
they took your guns away.
They did, and I'm dealing with that. Also, I'm not allowed to have caffeine till mid-April, so like that's.
How come? I guess that makes sense why you're drinking water then. Yeah, I'm getting
there's some like additional testing that we're doing, and to screen out any potential variables. They don't want any caffeine until those tests are done. So I'm been drinking caffeine-free Diet Pepsi, which has been a delight. I'm leaning in and embracing my like 48-year-old white mother, and it's okay.
You're gonna get a pack of Virginia Slims that like you like are opened but have never been smoked.
Never smoked them, but they're just there.
Because sometimes you just want to go sit out on the patio and just hold it with a lighter, but like you're not going to, but it's just to evoke that feeling of stress.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you, Kale.
Yeah. Thank you, Kale.
Let's
go.
Empress Arcana asked, question time. Eric and Odie, the journey continues as the talking owl agrees to you playing a song on the flute. The decorative stars on the chariot's ceiling begin to flicker on and off like a light switch, synchronized with the melody Odie is playing. At the end of the song, the Page of Cups smiles, clapping enthusiastically. That was great. You put on quite a show.
The Owl Karina.
Yes. On the other hand, the owl looks a bit defeated, sighing in response. It is what I was afraid of, ... Someone must have swapped the flutes before the High Priestess could even offer it to you. Honestly, none of this makes sense. I would think the High Priestess would see this coming with their foresight, unless a veil of deceit was created. A veil?
A veil?
I must report back to the Priestess. They are not going to be happy. But what does this flute do then, the page asks, noticing 3 tiny owls making their way.
Small, tiny baby owls.
Small 6-pound, 8-ounce baby owls. Blah, 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 blah. Making their way inside the chariot. Each of them were colored in shades of pastel. One green, another blue, and the last being pink.
That's the gay owl, right? Because the pink is the
pink is girl, right? Wait, are we going pink is gay or pink is
pink is gay
genitals?
girl, pink is lesbian.
Okay. I don't know if we can do that. I mean, it's our story.
And we're telling it.
Well, actually,
except it's not. It's Empress Arcana.
We're just in it.
In it.
Governor, pop it. Hey, pop it. Okay. The green owl made its way to the top of Odie's head. The blue owl perched itself on Eric's shoulder, and the pink owl cozily landed in the page's open palms. It's the gay one. I don't want to say that the Page of Cups is gay, but like, definitely feels coded that way.
Listen, Page of Cups is queer coded, and that's okay.
Yeah, we hear for that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's the Hell Yeah Pridecast.
Not until June.
We should do that for June. That was a note that I wrote to my
Pridecast.
The Hell Yeah Pridecast.
Oh my god.
We're here to profit and support. Why can't we support and profit?
I'll support with my profit.
It's a little homophobic if you don't let us.
That part.
We make money off the straights all the time.
I hate to be the one to tell them that. I hate to be the one to tell them that.
Oh, really? Because you're the one who unannounced showed up.
I hate to be the one to tell them that unsolicited off my own volition.
Oh, okay. Blah, blah, blah. So cute, so cute, precious, and warm. I shall name you Pinky, and I will protect you with my life.
I don't know I don't know how affirming to Pinky that is. Because, I haven't seen that the Page is a particularly, well-equipped defender of anything.
That's correct. I agree with that. And I don't mind having this conversation in front of him and Pinky.
Right.
But, one, I've already called it now Pinky, and two, the next line refers to the owl as Pinky, which means that, the Page of Cups has, become paracausal and has influenced the story in a way with his own decisions.
He's co-opted this story for his own nefarious purposes.
I think he's the big bad.
I think Jerry is.
And that's true.
Actually, I don't think Jerry is. I think Jerry is being co-opted in some effort by the big bad.
Yeah, this is all a big ruse. And I'm here
we say right in front of the Page of Cups.
He doesn't. He's got nothing between the eyes. It's like you know who the Page of Cups is?
What?
Daisy.
Yeah.
Where there's scuffed Pootie.
Just shaking with shaking Pootie out.
Scuffed.
Scared, scuffed.
Exactly.
Long legs.
Which her shaking
body.
is so cute. When I saw her,
she's the sweetest little thing.
I went over to Tyler's house when I was bitching about my mom's shit or my stepdad's shit, and then when I went bald, I went by. She wasn't home because she had just left for California, so I hung out with her family for a little bit. Bald. This dog is so fucking excited. She was just shivering because that's a greyhound thing.
Yeah,
too.
But
also, she's still around.
Yes, I just haven't seen her in a long time.
Yeah. So, when I go to. I think she'll be at my house because I think Tyler's going to watch my house when I go to, Nzuki, when I go to Oklahoma, which is now being pushed to May 1st.
Oh.
And she's due at the end of May, beginning of June. There's a lot of moving parts that are out of people's control, apparently. I'm excited. Luckily, at least with work, I did, they know that I will be going, but that, I don't have control over when. So it's I don't need to put in the formal time until we know for certain. But yeah. Okay, so Pinky gives a little hoot.
A little hoot.
A little hoot. Hoot. And flies over to investigate the mystery pouch Eric collected earlier on the journey. Quite the detective.
Hold on a second here, Pinky.
Mm-hmm.
Pinky did not... Knives down.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Knives out.
Paw. Pinky did not ask permission to do this investigative journalism.
Paw or claw?
You decide, Pinky. Choose now.
Holding this little pink owl at fucking knife point.
The Page of Cups will hurt me, though.
Will he?
Well.
He's weak. His bloodline's weak, and they barely survive the winter.
I looked at the Page of Cups. I looked him dead in the eye, and I said, "Do you think you could kill a man?" I
have glasses on.
Knives down.
Are you gonna come in? I don't know what.
I looked.
Eyeball scooping.
I looked the Page of Cups dead in the eye, paw first, and I said, "Do you think you could kill a man?" And he looked back at me and he said, yes, but it would take days and days.
Jesus Christ. I hate this. I hate everything that's happening in this chariot right now. Pinky gives a little hoot and flies over to investigate the mystery pouch Eric collected earlier on the journey. Quite the detective. The owl pokes its head. I don't like this nosy owl.
It's poking.
The owl pokes its head into the pouch, making its way inside. The mystery pouch swallows up the tiny pink owl, leaving the page with their mouth hanging open. Eric looks inside the pouch, trying to find any remnants of the bird, but the owl has long gone.
Where the fuck they put this owl?
Oh, Pinky. Oh, no. First I lose Jerry. Now I can't. My heart. I have failed you, Pinky. You know, why is Pinky out here acting like not Pinky. Pinky was cool.
They just fridged Pinky.
Iced him?
They fridged Pinky for Page of Cups.
Damn.
Character development.
They really said bury your gaze, right?
I'm so sorry, Miss Arcana. You put so
no. This is really good, Miss Arcana. We're just having fun with it. It's not like I'm not no criticism at all. No, it's all very fun. But I think that's the point. I think you enjoy it. Yeah, I think that I gotta be honest. This little oh wait,
there's an owl in my bag.
Verge of tears. Yeah, that's a little odd.
While the blue and green owls fly out the chariot.
Oh yeah, first I lose Jerry, and then while the blue and green owls fly out of the chariot very far away. You know, why is he giving me like 2007 RAR XD holds up Spork vibes? Like meets this owl, I will love you and protect you for my entire life. No. And he's like, I have failed you like I failed Jerry, and it's like, yeah.
I sure hope you do.
Bro, but also, why are you putting this pressure on yourself, Page of Cups? You literally, like, the bird has autonomy.
You've never seen something and fallen for it and bound yourself emotionally to it despite its autonomy?
Every fucking day.
That part.
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
That part.
You know what? I'm sorry, Page of Cups. I'm sorry. POC. Well, Page of Cups. Page of Cups.
There's a bird in my bag.
No, it's not. The bag is empty.
But the bird went in the bag.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that it's a portal to somewhere because the other bird's left, and I'm assuming to go find it.
Still in the bag.
Allegedly. Unless what's up? Do you feel like we're supposed to be biting what this bag's about?
If you step through.
I don't know if I want to.
If you step through a tunnel.
I don't want to participate. Yeah. A tunnel. If you step into it. When do you step out?
Yeah.
Are you the same person
when are you no longer in the tunnel?
When you're out of it?
That's deep.
Mm-hmm. I mean...
When does one leave the tunnel? When they're out of it.
Yeah. When it's time to leave.
Well...
That's not true.
That's not always true.
Sometimes it's time to leave the tunnel and you don't get to leave the tunnel.
Oh...
Well, I definitely was not expecting that, the owl says, as he gives another glance at the regular owl, not the colored owls. The pink, green, and blue owl.
The OOCs.
Stop! No! No, this is just a normal fantasy world, not like an early D&D fantasy world where it's like pseudo-racist. Well, it's very racist.
Fairly racist, yeah.
Actually, even into like considering. Anyway. This is a struggle. It's not easy.
Being white.
I was gonna say wheezy, but yeah, that works too. And keep it greasy, y'all. This is cursed as fuck.
Gone off.
Keep the flute in your... Okay, the owl says... Well, I definitely was not expecting that. The owl says as it gives another glance at the flute that's still in Odie's hands. Keep the flute in your possession for now. I'm going to inform the high priestess and we'll keep you posted. Stay safe, adventurers. The owl flies off and you all sit in silence, processing everything that had just happened. Some time passes and you realize the charioteer hasn't gotten back. The sun is setting and it would be ideal to find a place to stay for the night. The choices are as follows. Continue to wait for the charioteer, falling asleep in the process. After everything that has happened, sleep sounds heavenly. Get off the chariot and look for the charioteer. They were just delivering a letter, right? Emoji. Get off the chariot and seek shelter elsewhere. There definitely, has to be a town or something up ahead. There has to be. What? Do we want to sleep in the chariot? Do we want to go look for him, or do we want to go look for somewhere else to stay? Here's my thought process.
I'm listening to your thought process.
If we stay,
right,
we don't have to do anything, and we could just sleep. But if it's been a while since he's come back,
it's been a while.
It's possible that we could be
flim-flammed.
We're kind of trapped because we're like, clearly this is like a chariot
right?
That there's no one at. Like, people are going to try to check it out and not realize that we're sleeping in there.
If I was to take the bag and put it over the Page of Cups' head,
where would it go?
Where would his head go?
No complaints.
And I could say, find Pinky.
And you go, Page of Cups is very brain.
Very brain.
Pinky and the brain.
Pinky and the brain. The Pinky and the brain. One is a genius, the other's insane.
I like that one. That was good.
I mean, we could take a little nappy and then just go check tomorrow.
I mean, get off the chariot and look for the charioteer.
That seems dangerous to be roaming out in the night.
Well, it's starting to get dark.
The sun is setting.
Mm-hmm. So I think that what we could do, instead of doing one of the clear options, what if we made a secret fourth option where we at least like open up the door.
Right.
We take a step outside because it's sunset. So like we're with very small amount of time of light. We're going to go out and we're going to look and we're going to go, charioteer. We're going to wait for you if you're out there. We're going to take a nap in here. We'll have Jerry watch. Not Jerry. We'll have Page of Cups watch. We'll have him stand, like he'll take the first taking watch while everyone takes a long rest. You know, because it's important to have someone awake. And I want to go to bed.
Right.
I think you want to go to bed.
Always.
And I do not care what the page wants.
Oh.
Well, I do.
Oh.
Sometime. See, I know I feel committed. This is all going on to us.
On in front of.
He's still crying about Pinky.
Listen, sometimes we get sad.
Mm-hmm.
And a long time ago, I heard some really powerful words.
His head wouldn't go anywhere because when you put the hand in, you can't find any remnant of it. So I would assume that unless the whole body could go in there.
So I'm just putting a bag on this poor man's head.
Yeah.
Work.
But that could make him have better opinions because it'd be muffled.
A long time ago, I was given some very powerful advice. And that was, don't get mad, get glad with new Gladware Tupperware products.
Oh, okay.
And I think about that sometimes.
Hefty. Yeah. Wimpy. Hefty. And I think that's our decision.
And I think we said it.
Hell yeah.
No off-topic questions.
You have been stopped.
You've been stopped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. Looking, anytime the Page of Cups is like, hey, don't you guys care about my feelings? I go, excuse me, when did I ask?
When did I fucking ask?
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
When the page saw Pinky.
Yeah.
And then he saw them and he was like, I didn't mean to hit the error button.
Oh, okay.
Hype.
It's just hype. Easy. Wow.
And then when Pinky disappears.
When your friend you just made immediately goes to somewhere else. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When we find out who took Pinky.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
The hotel is fabulous.
When we find Pinky.
Pop them booty, bitch.
That's a pretty good mix.
That's Zuki.
We did a pretty good mix there.
If Zuki,
Meow.
I would get rid of him.
I don't think his voice could ever be that deep.
No. When he was a little kid, you remember tiny baby Zuki?
I remember.
He was so very small.
He was very small.
He'd try to hiss at Daisy because Daisy was terrified of him.
Yeah.
And he would go.
That's a mood, though.
It was the best. And the worst part was that, like, remember I was having those issues with my iPhone at the time where, like, it would just no matter what I did, it would just run out of memory because it was like a leak or some issue, and it was a whole pain in the ass to fix. I didn't take any pictures really, like hardly any pictures during that time, and I'm like, I really wish I would have and so now whenever I'm in the mood, like if I see him being cute, I'm like, I'm gonna take a bunch of unnecessary pictures because I'd rather have them.
When my sister's cat was getting older, he started to like lose the ability to meow, but he would still open his mouth like he was doing it, and so like it reached the point where like he just didn't meow anymore, but he would still just like
you gotta know
like he was gonna do
he's
it.
on closed captions.
Yeah, for quite a few years up to that, he would like open his mouth and then it would just take a while to get it going, so it was more like and then he would close his mouth, and then by like, you know, later in his life it was just like we were just working with open mouth, but like I knew what he was
Later
I was
in life,
picking up what he was putting down.
Of course, he was laying it down.
He was a good boy.
That's good.
He's a good
I like
boy.
them. I like cats.
As do I.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on God. Fleek. What are your thoughts on Rob Lowe? Do you know who that is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. It's a weird feeling, right?
Yeah, he makes me feel uneasy. And I don't think he's a bad person. He seems very nice. But something about him and his appearance and his demeanor makes me uneasy. I think it's, not to quote Taylor, but I believe it's his plasticky face that puts me
A little bit.
at an unease.
Like that kind of like, I know he was on Parks and Rec and is like super, super positive, but that also feels like the super, super positive is just, that's just Rob Lowe.
Right.
The reason I bring this up, I was sitting on my couch yesterday, as one does, frustrated at my internet.
Yeah.
And I meant to go like watch anime or something, and instead I just hit the button on my remote that says Netflix. And I went, okay, I'll see what's on Netflix. Like, you know, like fuck it, like this is just where I'm at. And there's no plans. It's just in the moment. No screens, no phones, just people living in the moment. And
what's better than this, huh?
Nothing.
Just guys being dudes.
Guys being dudes. And the first thing that pops up is like, you know, the little like previews for some stuff. You give like they kind of would recommend for you to watch, and then you're like recently. And I didn't know what the first one was. It was some murder shit because my sister's into true crime. And then the next one was called I think it's Unsane. I think is what it's called. And it's
Unsane in the Mumbrain.
Well, it's Rob Lowe and God, I want to say it's like John something Lowe.
John Cena.
I think it's John Robert Lowe. I want to say.
Is that his brother?
No, it's a son.
Oh.
And like they both.
Does he have the same plasticky face?
You know Syndrome?
Oh, do I know Syndrome?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Can I just say the amount of
Wait, I don't know if it was Unsane.
the amount of restraint I've been
Unstable
showing
was the show.
to not
John Owen Lowe is his son.
Jam this knife straight into your can of Prime has been so difficult.
Really? Well, let me finish.
I've just wanted so badly just to be like punch, punch, just at the top. Like I don't want to make a mess, but like chunk.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's it's like 8 episodes, I think. It was like a whole show. I ended up just like binging the whole thing. It was fine. It was good.
Okay.
He's like Rob Lowe. Like the whole thing is like
He's
dealing
a year
with grief.
younger than us, huh?
Yeah, but like also like because when I was looking at this guy, I was like, why does he give me like weird vibes? I'm like, oh, it's definitely his son. But they like co-wrote the show and like directed, you know,
that's cool.
Worked on the directing and stuff, and like surprisingly pretty good. It's called Unstable, not Unsane, Unstable, where like he's borderline like a good Elon Musk, for lack of a better term, and you know his wife died a few months back. And like his son, the son of like the most smartest man in the world, is like teaches flute in New York. Like, you know, because he just lives in his dad's. A lot of like father-son relationship dynamic stuff, as well as like surprisingly like pretty well written in terms of like the commentary and whatnot. Like progressive, you know, negative woke shit, but like not in the. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because I really liked that the show felt like pretty solidly, like had some really interesting points and was progressive, but not in the way that like sometimes it feels like very ham-fisted.
Yeah.
Which is what people who hate it will pick apart at, because it's like, well, yeah, like this is like, no, like they're just assumed, like it just makes sense, and it's like kind of breaking down a little bit of conversations. Or like one thing that the reason I continue to watch this show is because they talked a little bit like how I do, where sometimes when I get nervous, especially, I'll just like acknowledge the current situation that I'm in, because like it's funny. Like when I was at Thanksgiving and like Jimmy like was immediately going and like working on at Kat's house, like on the dishes, I was like, do you also not necessarily know what to do, and like you just kind of like get uncomfortable because unless they directly tell you what to do, you just kind of find the first thing that you can do, and hopefully like you chose a good one. Like dishes, you could just stay planted and not have to stress about what you need to do to help, so you feel like you can participate. And he goes, yeah, actually that's exactly it. I'm like, okay, cool, because I think everyone gets nervous and no one ever says anything, and I'm tired of feeling like I'm missing like something, so I'd rather just ask. And it was very fun and helped like break a little bit of the tension. But like not like, oh, this is an awkward situation. Sometimes the best way to acknowledge it is to just express that, like, not say this is awkward,
right,
or you're being awkward, but like, yeah, it's like, oh, this is always a fun time. Like, I definitely miss this. Cool. I'm gonna go. He's like, I'm gonna go fake a phone call real quick. Oh, hey, me? Yeah, 1 sec. I gotta go. Like, it was very well done, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And overall, not bad.
Okay, yeah.
Like, it was 6 out of 10, which is a good score. Like,
yeah. In the immortal words of Fall Out Boy, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Mm-hmm. And the words of Reliant K, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 do. Or,
Okay.
I think. Or 2 lefts don't make a right, but 3 do. I think is what it is. Because it's like one. When you go right, you go left once, or you go left, 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 and then you'll go right, I guess. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think we're done. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stab the can.
It's a dull knife.
Oh, it's because we use it a lot. Ooh.
I did it.
Yeah.
That felt good. Oh, no. Chug, 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 chug. Yes.
What do we could tell him? Oh, don't do it. Tell him and hit stop recording. Tell him what it's about. What's the name of the podcast?
Wait, I didn't study for this.
I know. This is your test. You've tried the best. Now settle for the rest.
With Gladware Tupperware products. Goodbye.